No stinking reruns, Tim. Just running a little behind. Sorry. It's on me.
Ain't got no stinking reruns. I don't know where that came from.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. On this April 1st. You believe in that whole April Fool's thing? Let's get over the hump together, shall we? How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Hope your week is going well. We get you over the hump. Thanks for being with us. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
Good morning, David. I am doing well. Another good day yesterday. One day closer, hopefully, for me going home. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting when you watch a game, and I don't get to do this very often, but my wife is from Pittsburgh. I am from Michigan. She's a hockey fan. Very rarely do we get to watch a game where our two teams play and where I actually give a damn how my team does.
Right.
She was much more gracious in victory than I would be.
Really?
She was. She was rooting for her team. She was happy that they won, but she knows my state of mind, and she took it easy on me, and I'm proud of her for that. She's a better human being than I am.
So she's aware of how fragile you are right now mentally concerning your Detroit hockey team.
Yeah, she is. And the other thing is I realized, and she told me again, David, it was about my tone. Because she thinks, and she has always thought of, we're watching her team and they screw up.
Right.
And I point out the why. She believes that I'm doing it intentionally to make her upset, when in fact I'm just doing what you and I do.
Right.
Oh, that's a bad pass. He threw in a double coverage there. The tight end was open. Right. That guy's got a block. Whatever the hell the case may be.
Right. It's part of our charm.
Right. And last night, I think for the first time, she got it on the other end. I mean, there happened to be one play, two different plays in which, Detroit gave up a goal and the defense sagged in and didn't have really good gap control at the blue line.
Right.
And then shortly thereafter, Detroit had a 3-on-2 and Pittsburgh played it perfectly. And I explained to her when Detroit screwed up, why they screwed up. So one, it wasn't her team that screwed up. Right. So her ears were far more open to listen to the why. And then when her team played it perfectly, she went, and I said, what happened? She went, oh, I see what you're talking about. So it was a learning experience for her and more frustration for me, and her team won. So, I mean, all in all, it was a great night for her.
I'm guessing since her team got off to such a good start in the game that she knew for the better part of nearly 2 hours that this was going to be a win. That's probably why, she did her celebrating on the inside early and then, was trying to comfort you the rest of the evening. The big night in the NHL last night, particularly in the Eastern Conference, in which seemingly those that were doing well going into last night continued to do well, and those that were scuffling going into last night continued to scuffle.
And that's very true. Well, from the bottom end, a bunch of teams lost again.
Right. So that last spot, every team competing for the last spot, in theory, lost last night.
Right.
Okay. The teams above them separated themselves some more. Pittsburgh, Boston, Montreal. Montreal, with a big win in Tampa, 2 empty netters made the game seem not as close as it was. But Montreal He's now won 6 in a row. They're within 2 points of the Lightning. Granted, the Lightning have the tiebreaker because they have a lot more regulation wins. But it puts the Lightning now 2 points behind the Sabres, albeit Tampa Bay's got a game in hand. But Buffalo right now owns the tiebreaker. They have one more regulation win.
It's because Buffalo doesn't lose, David.
Oh, my goodness.
The irony is, I think, Detroit's one of the only teams that beat them in the last month, it seems.
Right.
I mean, Buffalo is playing so well.
Yep.
They're a fun team to watch. Sign me up for, if you could give me just 6 between Buffalo and Tampa, and I want the Lightning to win. It would be great for Buffalo because, quite frankly, that city deserves a playoff run. But you put me 6 games, give me 6 games rather between those two teams. I am all in. The Lightning are a really enjoyable team to watch. When you have Kucherov and you hit the way that they do, and they've toughened their team up, I think you're right. They're more playoff ready than they were a year ago for certain. But Buffalo's got great speed. They've got youth. Now they've never been there. So they could pull what Tampa did, about a decade ago when Columbus took them out in the first round with a sweep. So you don't know what's going to happen for a team that's not made the playoffs in over a decade, what happens when they get in. But they are certainly playing extremely good hockey right now. In Tampa, big night last night, and they lost. They're trying to keep pace with Buffalo to win that division. Buffalo, as you said, now up 2 points. Tampa's got the game in hand. We'll see how that goes. But you were more interested in the baseball as far as Tampa goes last night.
I was.
And unfortunately, it started really well. Just that 5th inning, David.
Yeah, he was a pitch away. He was clearly tiring. Shane McClanahan, to me, was the story of the night. Never mind the fact that, Mark and I began our careers together in Southwest Florida. He grew up in Southwest Florida, went to college in Tampa, gets drafted by the Rays. His family gets to see him in high school, college. He makes it to the majors. He's a 2-time All-Star. Okay, I think he finished top 6 in a Cy Young voting one year. And then 2.5 years ago, he suffers a major injury, not just an elbow injury, but nerve damage. And you wonder, is he ever going to pitch again? And it was nearly 1,000 days, just under 1,000 days since his last appearance in the majors. And he throws 4 no-hit innings, looked good, and then started to tire a little bit. And Mark, he had a chance to get out of the 5th. He was facing the bottom part of the order, and the Brewers' best hitter is their leadoff hitter. And you didn't want to face him. And he ends up 2 walks and a hit, and sure enough, he's got to face the leadoff hitter. And he had gotten him out the first 2 times. And I remember thinking, this guy's tough to get out 3 times in a row. And sure enough, base hit, error by the Rays. It should have been a 2-run tying single. They completely misplay it. It ends up being a bases clearing single. And so McClanahan gets the loss. Instead of it being 2-2 after 5, and he would have gotten a no decision, it ends up being 3-2 after 5. Brewers go on to win. I think the score was 6-2?
6-2 was the final.
Yeah, and
McClanahan
tough
gets
loss
saddled
for
with
McClanahan.
loss. Yeah, that was tough. And I guess, fortunately, because he did lose, or unfortunately, that really wasn't the story that came out of the Brewers in Tampa. Because C.B. Buckner, the umpire, who missed 6 calls behind the plate the other day, 5 of which were overturned, a check swing that he didn't want to appeal, that I don't think was a check swing, made him look even worse. Last night, he didn't realize that a player touched, wait for it, first base. He was the first base umpire.
And Mark, officially, he missed 24 pitches in his opening game behind the plate this year. But yes, 6 there that were overturned or should have been overturned. And yes, a guy. And by the way, there was not a throw to first.
No,
the throw was 20 feet wide and nearly went into the Brewers dugout. So it's not like there was a close play or anything. No, there was nothing to look at. In fact, the base runner slowed down just a touch, and he only stepped right on top of the middle of the bag.
And you are right. It was 6 calls because it was 5 by one team, 1 by the other. and then the check swing. So just to clarify, to make sure we've got that right. So last night, the player stepped on first.
Where did he step again,
like
Mark?
Whole foot.
Right. Right on top of the bag.
Right.
Not on the corner. He wasn't rounding it and trying to hit the inside corner of the bag and going to second. Right.
So they have to go to replay to overturn the call. Both managers are laughing. Which see, most of the time that would be great, and I think it's great last night. But David, this is the one sport that when you mock an umpire, they remember it. And I mean, here we're not even a week into the damn season, and we already have public umpire enemy number one.
Mark, and guess what? You know who's going to umpire where based on where they were the day before. CB Buckner was at first last night. So do you know what that means today? CB's behind the plate. This may be worth watching just for the challenge. I may watch. I think it's an afternoon game. I may watch just for the challenges. Okay, I may watch and go, all right, let's see how many pitches. Because what's interesting is teams don't challenge every pitch that they think is missed because you only get 2. Now, if you're correct, you keep it. But you know what I'm saying? So there were pitches last night, Mark, in which, I mean, McClanahan threw a pitch that I didn't even think was on the corner. The catcher didn't either. You could see him almost go like, ooh. Yet for some reason, they didn't challenge it. It was the first pitch of an at-bat in the second inning, and it was like, interesting. Brian Anderson in the booth even said, I'm really surprised they didn't challenge that. I don't even think that was on the corner.
Well, this goes back to what you and I talked about, and Andy Freed was on the show, and he talked about what's the strategy? Are there certain hitters that aren't allowed, that the manager says, I'd prefer you don't make a challenge, or, hey, guys, we're not you. Does he save before an inning? No challenges here. I need to save these. It's going to be a tight game. So the managers are quite frankly still figuring this out, David, of how they want to do this. You and I both think, at least I think, I don't know, I've never really asked you. I think the catchers have carte blanche. I think is particularly if you're the main guy, if you're the main catcher that you're catching 130 games, then I think you are allowed to choose whenever you want. I don't know if all hitters do. I don't know if managers say we're not doing any challenging until the 5th inning. Or certainly first pitch of an at bat. Don't want you to challenge.
So that's now part of the game. I have to admit, to me, it's added fun to it. I actually think now the baseball broadcasts are more interesting because of this ABS challenge.
Well, as we said, the box is gone. So now you're doing it at home, if you will. So you're right. It adds to it. A lot of guests on the show, but when we come back, I'm confused, David. I have questions. Hopefully you'll have answers.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, Cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Tough one for the Tigers last night.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Hell of
Give
a
up,
debut.
what, 6 in the bottom of the 8th?
Well, and Kenley Jansen gave up a 3-run homer. The kid who hit it, it was his major league debut. He hit 2 homers. Think about that. It's happened twice in a week. The 6th and 7th players. Now, the kid for Cleveland who did it, okay, it was his regular season debut. He actually was put on the playoff roster last year and played in a couple of playoff games. But it was his first regular season major league at bat. And he hits 2 homers. But the kid last night for Arizona, that's his first game in the majors.
That's awesome. Paula, it was a little high right there, and it hasn't been. It's been really good. That surprised me. That was a higher number than normal. Maybe it was the pizza I had for dinner last night. Very good.
Regular or your stuff on it?
Well, I mean, I always a pepperoni mushroom. I mean, that's just kind of our.
Hey, I just didn't know if there are things you're not allowed to eat. So I just.
Oh no. When it's hot, I'm pretty much allowed to eat anything.
Okay.
But yeah, we actually went to a little place down the road because they said they had. He's doing great, DC. He's been crushing the ball. They said they on their whatever menu or their online said they had beer and wine, so Eve was going to have a drink, but they didn't. But it was just like 3 tables and hot as hell. But I'm like, we're going to eat it here because it's better when you eat it there, and it was New York style, very thin. But you could tell if it would have gotten the box, even a 10-minute drive home, it would have gotten soggy. Yeah, he's off to a great start, TC. McCougal or whatever the hell his name is.
McConicle? Is it?
McConicle, Kevin McConicle. There you go. Good job, David. It's a baseball player and it's a name.
There's a few of them too.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on this hump day. It's April 1st. When's the last time you pulled or had pulled on you a good April Fool's Day joke? I was never an April Fool's person, although I and hundreds of thousands of others fell victim to one of the best April Fool's jokes of all time.
Guilty. I did as well. You're talking about the SI story, right?
Yeah, which I think is 40 years ago today. I thought it was Gooden went 24-4 with the 1.53 ERA in 85. And I thought they came back with the April Fool's 86 edition of SI and said, yeah, the Mets have this prospect that'll make Dwight Gooden look mediocre. So I thought it was 40 years ago today. I could be off a year. But
I'm checking because I
right. No,
Sid something was his name.
Sid Finch.
Finch, there you go.
Right. And I think it was Sid with 2 D's, I thought. I thought the whole thing. Okay.
You're off by a year, 85.
Oh, it was okay.
40 years was last year.
Got it. So
through 140 miles an hour or whatever it was. And I was a kid.
And Sports Illustrated was the Bible.
And I raced to get that every week. That subscription was in my name, not my dad's.
Right.
So and so on that note, not necessarily on the Sid Finch note, but on the April Fool's Day note, do you play April Fool's jokes on friends, family, coworkers? Yes or no? Simple as that for a poll question. You okay with that?
You can
come up with whatever sports question you want between now and the top of the hour, but I'm starting there. We'll just go with that. But David, as I mentioned, I've got questions. I'm confused. And I try to read a little bit. I try to pay attention. And everything that I saw in the past few days since Friday that I read, Tiger in the police reports told police he was on the phone and changing the radio station when he clipped the car in front of him and flipped his Range Rover.
Right. He was distracted. Right.
Well, specifically said he was on the phone and changing the radio station. It's documented.
Right.
So yes, you're right, distracted, but I'm trying to be better, David, and deal in specifics, not generalities.
Right.
It's not a knock on you, but I'm just being very specific. My wife gets upset with me if I generalize things. So that per the police report, that is what he said.
Right.
He then yesterday, through his attorney, pleaded not guilty.
Correct.
To the DUI charge and also demanded a trial by jury. Okay? So on the phone, changing the radio station, not guilty, jury trial.
Right.
Why did he check into rehab? Is there a rehab for driving and talking on the phone? I could teach him a class on how to push buttons. A Range Rover, I'm pretty sure, David. Here's the other thing. I'm pretty sure since my GMC crap box has the ability to change radio stations on the steering wheel, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing that he can change the radio station while on the steering wheel while driving. And I'm almost positive that car has Bluetooth.
Mark, I'm convinced that both of the points you just made are accurate. Apparently, he had a change of heart in the 4 days since what he told the police Friday afternoon on site versus what he did through his attorney yesterday. So, the whole jury thing, it's funny. I'm wondering if that's procedural, because unless he's really worried about going to jail and he doesn't think that there's a plea deal that he can reach that will not give him some jail time, I'm surprised about that, because, I mean, that runs the risk of being found guilty of the original charges as opposed to pleading down to even lesser charges, which you would think would reduce the risk of doing jail time. I'll be surprised if it ever goes to trial. I'll be surprised if he does a day behind bars. But, you know,
I will say, if somehow this does go to trial and he is found guilty, I wish our two attorneys were in the chat room right now. I don't see them. But the reason I say that is that if you're a judge and it's a DUI
right,
with a celebrity and you're going through all this trouble and wasting the court's time with the jury trial and all of these things, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the judge the one that does the sentencing?
Yes. And I
wouldn't he be a little honked off about all of this?
Yes, that was my thinking entirely. Kind of like, if you're going to go through with this and you lose, a judge is going to put you behind bars, even if it's for a long weekend. Okay, the judge is going to make a point here. You're going to waste my court's time, okay, with a jury trial for a misdemeanor DUI case? Oh, we're going to take your past actions into account, and I'm going to make sure that I make an example out of you, because I don't need the other rich people in this town, of which there are many, to be wasting this court's time in the future when they run into trouble.
So Tiger's off to rehab because he's trying to be a better person, but he pleaded not guilty.
Yep.
One doesn't seem to make sense with the other. And I get it's a lot of legalese. I'm not a dummy. And I was one that was forgiven for what? Because I largely didn't care until yesterday, when I see the pathetic statement that he issued.
Well, he's always
that was written for him.
He's always issued pathetic statements, though.
I gotcha. I would
really
rather he not issue a statement, David.
I agree with that.
Okay, that's if you're going to be that pathetic and give these generalizations, hey, come clean. I got a problem. Listen, he could even lie to us. I've had all these surgeries. I got addicted to pain pills. I'm sorry. I need to get over this. I'd be a touch sympathetic. I would. David, I truly would. But when you give me these generalization BS statements, you had 2 pills in your pocket. We know you're a pill. We all know you're a pillhead. We all know it. We've known it for a long time. The only one that doesn't seem to know it is you, Tiger. And when you issue these general BS statements, the things you said, and I'm not nearly as mad as you were on Monday, and I won't ever be, because I don't care that much. But you look pathetic to me, dude. That's what it is. You just look pathetic. You look like you're trying to put one past us again and get our sympathy without really telling why. For once in your life, Tiger, try honesty. Try it. We're an incredibly sympathetic nation, and we love you. The sports fan loves this guy. Well, and you'll all still love him because for whatever reason, You don't hold him accountable the way you hold others.
Well, to be serious for a moment, for anyone who has dealt with their own addiction or has dealt with family members who have an addiction, being honest is the first step and in many cases, it's for the very first time being honest. So let's hope that along the way, something that Tiger has been allergic to his whole adult life, which is honesty, let's hope he finds it. Miller and Moulton. The starting five is next, and a terrific guest list on this hump day, an April Fool's Day edition of Miller and Moulton. The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea, and by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe. And your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Empire, he's had issues for 20 years, and we just let him slide because he's an athlete. We wouldn't let a normal human slide like that. His talent allows people to let him slide. And I didn't even care on mine. I mean, David, if the text chain that David and I and our old producer had on Friday, David was pissed. And I don't even care. I was making light of it. But the statement and the not guilty and the jury trial, he's trying to game the system. He's trying to make sure he doesn't get in any trouble. And I get it. If I had money, I'd do a lot of the same things. But when you're trying to game the system and then you go to rehab with that BS statement, I mean, did you read the statement, Empire? I know and understand the seriousness of the situation I find myself in today. I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery. I'm committed to taking the time needed to return in a healthier, stronger, and more focused place, both personally and professionally. I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for your privacy from my family, loved ones, and myself at this time. I've never attacked your family. Don't care about your kids. Personally and professionally, what's he going to step back for rehab for his golf swing? I mean, what's he going for? What's the problem? Doesn't admit to a damn thing. That's all. That's just I thought that the statement was pathetic, and I called him on it. And obviously, you disagree with me, but I no.
Mongo, I think it was Finch with an N instead of a
Yes.
T.
It was Finch. Sid Finch. April 1, 85.
Although I will say 2 years later was when the Mets announced that Gooden failed the drug test and was going into rehab. And for a few hours, the Mets media and Mets fans all thought it was an April Fool's joke and said, "Oh, we ain't going to fall for this again." The Mets are like, "No, really."
Empire, $1 million brand? $1 million brand? Do you know what he's worth? He's worth over $1 billion. What does he have to protect? I mean, I'm being serious, man. He's a billionaire. If he doesn't set foot in the public eye for the rest of his life, he's a billionaire.
And that's with a divorce.
That's with a B, my man. He's got money you and I will never see in 30 lifetimes. I'm not going to be snarky towards you, Paula. Mom and you, I see what you're saying. Doesn't guilt me, but I'm just going to be nice.
Then there's me, Paula.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Kevin Brockway is going to join us 1 hour from now. He covers the Gators. We'll talk a little hoops, who they're losing in the portal, but we'll talk mostly Gators spring football. They had their first scrimmage over the weekend. The spring game, I think, is not this weekend, but next. We'll talk to Kevin Brockway about the new coach and how the spring is going. Coming up 1 hour from now, our weekly visit with Seth Everett. And 2 hours from now, we'll talk pucks. Dave McCarthy from the NHL Network, NHL Network Radio, NHL.com. You get the hint. He covers the NHL. That's 2 hours from now. What's our poll question again?
Do you play April Fool's jokes? Are you someone, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, do you play April Fool's jokes? I will say, and I didn't do it this year because of the circumstances that I have going on, I could not do it to my wife. Typically, what I have done the past few years is talk my daughter into playing an April Fool's joke on my wife.
On your wife?
Oh, yeah.
Well, but, I mean, your wife, as wives go, is one of the nicer people that you'll meet. And you're playing April Fool's jokes on her?
I don't play them on her. I have my daughter do it.
Yeah, but she knows who's putting her up to it. She ain't thinking it on her own, although she's starting to get to the point now where she could.
That's why it works. Little things like, she goes up to get her up in the morning. Mom, I threw up all night. And Mom, oh my God, what's going on? And then she throws an April Fool's at her. It's terrific.
Oh, wow.
It's terrific.
You guys are something.
My uncle taught me that. My late Uncle Tom. He used to take me, he was my godfather. And when roller skating was big, my Uncle Tom would take me roller skating. He loved it.
Okay.
And he owned a restaurant. So we would go skating on whatever night it was. And then he'd take me to his restaurant for a meal. And I think about that now because I wasn't that old. And we went to the skating thing till like 9, then to his restaurant for dinner. I'm getting home at like 10, 10:30.
Sure you
Because
are.
that's what most 9, 10-year-olds do.
No doubt about it.
And he told me one year, he said, tell your mom when you get up in the morning that you had blood in your urine.
Oh,
She'll
for
freak
goodness
out.
sake.
And then tell her April Fools.
Unbelievable.
And I did it, and my mom freaked out. And I told her April Fools, and I thought, because I really, really adored my Uncle Tom. He was a good man. And she lost her, you know what. And I started laughing and said April Fools. And then she got really mad because she knew it wasn't me. She got mad at me, but not for that long. And I thought it was terrific. And so I passed that on to my daughter.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I can honestly say that if I had done that to my mom, which would have been difficult to do because she's a nurse, but if I had done that to my mom, she would have beaten me. Okay, without hesitation. And she would have, at the end of the beating, said, I'll bet you'll never do one of these again. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
brought to you by Lee County, Florida, one of the 5 fastest growing counties in Florida. Why? Well, because they know how to build a better community, baby, through BST, business, sports, and tourism. We'll start with golf, although he hasn't played golf in nearly 2 years. Tiger Woods pled not guilty to misdemeanor DUI charges yesterday morning and then announced in a statement in the afternoon, quote, he's stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health, unquote. The 50-year-old last played on tour in the 2024 Open Championship. He will not take part in any Masters festivities this weekend and all of next week. NFL news from the owners' meetings in Arizona. The Jags are going to play the entire 2027 season. Their home games at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, a capacity of 60,000. Mark, curious. Say you lived about 20 minutes from where the Jags play their home games in Jacksonville. Would you renew your season tickets for Camping World Stadium, which is a good 2 hours away?
No, I wouldn't, because it would be very difficult for me to go to games. You know, I mean, that's
Right.
asking a lot. Like, I don't think that there are a lot of people in Fort Myers that are Bucs season ticket holders, if you will. You know,
Right.
that's a similar drive.
Yes.
Now, my question would be this, though. I'm curious as to how much pressure the Jags are going to put on their season ticket holder to say if you don't get them, you lose your place in line, if you know what I mean.
If they were to-
That's where my questions are.
If they did that, I would then immediately start to call them the worst organization in the NFL. Okay, that's ridiculous to put that sort of pressure. I think that would be terrible.
I agree,
to do.
but I agree, but that's my
Right.
question, David. That's the because I think the tickets will sell. We already looked at the schedule that year. I think they'll have no problem selling out the games.
Although 3 of the 9 home games in 2027 are expected to be in London, and 6 of the 9 will be in Orlando. Also from the owners' meetings, no more Monday Night Football doubleheaders. The 5 extra games that ESPN used to have are going to be put in a package, and they're going to sell it to a streaming service. A short week is now defined as 4 days, meaning Sunday to Thursday is a short week. Friday is not considered a short week. The reason this is important is teams are only allowed to play 2 short week games a year. Friday this year is Christmas. Also, there's Black Friday. So the NFL will have the occasional Friday game, and they want to make sure that they can schedule a certain team a third time, if you know what I mean. And the Mexico City game has been announced. It will be a week 11. The Niners will be the home team. They have not announced the day, the time, or the opponent. My money says it's a Monday night because the last game in Mexico City was. Rumors are, Mark, the Dolphins are going to be the Niners' opponent. We shall see. NHL, 10 games last night. Canadians went into Tampa, beat the Lightning 4-1. They've won 6 in a row. 2 of the 4 goals were empty netters. Montreal's now 2 behind Tampa, who is 2 behind Buffalo. Buffalo beat the Islanders 4-3. The Islanders remain in 3rd place in their division, albeit by just a point. Florida doubled up Ottawa 6-3. Painful loss for the Sens, who remain 2 points out of the playoffs. Bruins are playing terrific hockey down the stretch. They doubled up Dallas 6-3. They're comfortably the first wild card right now. They're only 2 points behind the Canadians to get out of the wild card. Penguins go to the island to beat the Islanders, and they come home and demolish the Wings 5-1. They're comfortably in 2nd place in their division. Okay, Detroit, meanwhile, 2 points out of the playoffs. Columbus holds the final playoff spot. They lost at home to Carolina last night, 5-2. Philly had their 8-game road winning streak snapped. Ovechkin with 2 goals. That's 31 on the season. That's 20 times that he has scored 30 or more goals in a season. He's at 928 career. Washington 6-4 over the Flyers. Flyers 2 points out of the playoffs. Caps are 3 points out of the playoffs. Winnipeg beat Chicago 4-3. Winnipeg's a point out of the final wild card. Rangers beat the Devils 4-1. The goalies had a fight mid-third period. That's always fun. And Edmonton shut out Seattle 3-0. Seattle 2 points behind Nashville, but they have 2 games in hand for the final playoff spot out west. Oilers solidifying their 2nd place standing in the division. 7 games in the NBA. Orlando held off Phoenix 115-111. They're now in the 8th spot in the East. Charlotte is tied for Miami for the 9th spot, a half a game behind Orlando. They beat Brooklyn by 31. Durant with 27. Houston jumped all over the Knicks, beat them by 17. Luka with 42 for the Lakers. They beat Cleveland 127-113. Portland, they're now just a half a game behind the Clippers for the 8th seed out west. They beat the Clippers in LA by 10 last night. Detroit clinched their first division title in 18 years. Congrats to the Pistons. They beat Toronto at home by 11. And Milwaukee blew out Dallas by 24. It's not official, but numerous reports yesterday indicate that Amari Stoudemire, Doc Rivers, Candace Parker, and Elena Delle Donne will headline this year's Basketball Hall of Fame class. 14 baseball games last night. We talked about it earlier. Shane McClanahan, 4 hitless innings, tired, gave up 3, 1 unearned in the 5th. He took the loss as Milwaukee beat Tampa 6-2. But great to have Shane McClanahan back after 972 days away because of injury. Marlins with 4 in the 4th, and then Griffin Conine with a 2-run homer late. They beat the White Sox 9-2. Cardinals held the Mets to 3 hits, beat them 3-0. Yankees, you know, Giancarlo Stanton has had 2 or more hits in every game so far this year. He had 2 hits and 2 RBIs last night. Yankees shut out Seattle 5-0. Houston, they won their 4th in a row. They beat the Red Sox 4-2. I said the Red Sox were going to be terrific this year, so you knew they'd get off to a 1-4 start. Angels held the Cubs to 4 hits, beat them 2-0. A's got their first win of the year, beat the Braves 5-2. Toronto, Max Scherzer with 6 terrific innings. They beat Colorado 5-1. How about Jose Fernandez? So he hits a homer early in the game, first major league game. Congratulations. Then he comes up. They're trailing in the 8th. He's facing maybe a future Hall of Famer in Kenley Jansen. 2 on, 2 out. hits a 3-run homer to give the Diamondbacks a 7-5 win over the Tigers. 2 homers in his major league debut. It's only the 7th time it's ever happened, yet it's the 2nd time it's happened in a week. Unbelievable. Phillies, speaking of major league debuts, Andrew Painter, their young pitching stud. Scoreless ball into the 6th. Phillies beat the Nats 3-2. Pirates hit 4 homers, beat the Reds 8-3. Texas, they hit 3 homers, beat the Orioles 8-5. Pete Alonso did it his first stinger for Baltimore. Giants, Willie Adames with 4 hits. They beat San Diego 9-3. Ohtani, first pitching performance of the season last night. He gave up 1 hit in 6 innings. Did you see he hit a guy? And when the inning was over, he walked over to him on the baseball paths and stopped him and apologized.
Boo.
I'll tell you, there's a lot not to like about this guy, isn't there?
I don't like that.
Can't hit, can't pitch. Okay, seems to be a blankety
Apologizing
blank.
for hitting a guy. Come on.
Well, you
Do
know.
better.
Now we know we know he can't gamble successfully. Hoo-ah! Soccer. The U.S. lost to Portugal 2-0. Their 8th straight defeat at the hands of a European team. The United States has a Christian Pulisic problem. He can't score goals. He needs to score goals. His 8th straight match for the U.S. not scoring. He hasn't even scored for his European team since December. He's got 2.5 months to, as Cher once said, snap out of it. One other soccer note. Mark, for all the issues the U.S. men's national team has,
They ain't Italy.
they ain't Italy. The Italians,
The baseball power that is Italy, David, is
Right.
really struggling in soccer.
Right. They make the semis of the World Baseball Classic and can't qualify for their 3rd straight World Cup in soccer. It's kind of important to them. And they've increased the field to like 144, and they still can't get in. They lost in penalty kicks to, I don't even know who. I think Serbia or something. Anyway, Italy's out. Unbelievable. And it's 7 minutes before the hour. That was the starting 5 big stories you need to know, courtesy of Lee County, Florida, building a better community through the tried and true method of BST, business, sports, and tourism.
Look, I know no one cares in this country, but the equivalent of that is if we start playing football in the NFL in Europe and a U.S. team doesn't win a Super Bowl for a decade.
Is that us not qualifying for the Olympics in men's basketball? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, it pretty much is, David. That's a good call.
Wow.
Kevin Brockway next hour to talk Gators.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Pelican. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
EPA
sound.
Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit edisonawards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
The answer is no, Mello. A segment? I don't even think we mentioned it in the starting five. He's a guy that got traded. He wasn't playing this year, and he doesn't like gay people. I mean, I don't know. What do you want us to say? I think I kind of just wrapped it up there in a nutshell. Wes, I would take that bet every time. We did talk about it. The umpires union's pretty strong. Now, would he be back next year? I don't know. But finishes the season, I'll take the over on that. Look at Eddie Cheese with some fun facts. Did you see the text we got? My daughter answered. I forwarded it to her. She answered.
That's fantastic.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day, on this April 1st. Are you an April Fool's Day believer? Are you an April Fool's Day participant? That's basically our poll question, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you participate in April Fools? I mean, that's the crux of the question.
Yeah.
Do you play April Fool's jokes on friends, family, coworkers? 70% of you do not. None of you really vote. And I don't even know if I retweeted it. So I'm as guilty as anyone this morning. I know I didn't vote. I have, but I do it by making my daughter do something to my wife. So I kind of cheat. By the way, little quick clarification on the starting five. It was Bosnia-Herzegovina that Italy lost to not qualify for the World Cup, just for what it's worth.
Right.
No. And David, the playoff group that they were in, they beat Northern Ireland, that soccer power,
right,
to get to the one-game play-in. Bosnia beat Wales. I mean, the competition, this is Italy essentially playing in that league that Wrexham, that Ryan Reynolds bought the team. I mean, this is so far beneath the quality of play that Italy is supposed to be at. And the coach or manager, whatever the hell they are in soccer, went very hockey with his answer. Obviously, this is the translation. I don't think the boys deserve to suffer such a blow for that performance. The effort and the heart they showed tonight, I'm proud of the boys. It's difficult to digest. Do you know why it's difficult to digest? Because you might not make it back to your country alive.
Come on now. This isn't Colombia. Take it easy now. Okay. But
he better stay in northern Italy. He better stay away from Sicily. That's all I'm saying.
I don't doubt that. But apparently Italy scored and then lost a man. So they played a man down for a good chunk of the match and gave up a late equalizer and then lost in penalties. And, there you go. There's another one, by the way. There's a bid in the World Cup on the line. Shouldn't we play till someone scores? I mean, no, seriously. Got anywhere else to go? Honestly. Come on, why don't we just play? I've been here a long time. I don't know what to tell you. Bid in the World Cup's on the line. Keep playing. I mean, we could stop every 15 minutes for a water break if you'd like. I mean, whatever you want to do. But we're going to keep playing until somebody finds the back of the net. It's ridiculous. We got to stop it with this shootout. Penalties in hockey and soccer. Stop it already.
By the way, this sets up something here. I'm just going to let you know, and then we're going to be done with this because I don't mean to do this to our audience. But anybody who's listened to me in particular for a long time, I'm amused when the U.S. blows it in the World Cup. I am. Do I want us to win? Of course. I'm an American. But when we lose, do I find it funny for all of the people who invest so much time in U.S. soccer? Our former producer, just loves it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, dresses up, costumes.
Oh, yeah. And I still text with him occasionally. He's a great guy. He really is. He literally, when I was joking with him about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, about the U.S. soccer team get out of group, he goes, "It's pickleball full time for me if they don't. I'm done."
Okay.
But the groups were already already set for this. So
Yeah.
Italy knew where they were playing if they won. So now Bosnia-Herzegovina is in the group with Qatar, whatever, Qatar, I don't care, whatever you want to call them, Switzerland and Canada. So who gets a huge break out of this? Canada.
Sure.
I mean, think about it. If Italy's in this group,
Yeah.
they should be, in theory, better than Canada. Maybe not, but in theory. So now Canada's chances of moving out of group, I think, increase at least tenfold with the result yesterday.
Right.
And now the U.S. has an easy group. They should get out. But if Canada gets out of group and we don't, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That's
is
all.
Right.
I'm done. Done with soccer until the World Cup starts.
Mid-June. I think June 12th is our opener. So 2.5 months to get your act together, boys. I guess they announced the team right before Memorial Day, something like that. So good luck,
8 in
boys.
a row the U.S. has lost to European clubs.
Yeah.
8 in a row. 2-0 last night. Way to go, boys.
Fortunately, I don't know if they have a European club in their group. I know they have
Well,
Australia. Okay. But we shall see. Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Shane McClanahan returning to the mound. The Lightning losing. Those are the big events on the Tampa sports scene yesterday. Jags to play their home games in Orlando. If you lived in Orlando, they got a decent home schedule next year. You don't know what 6 games you're going to get because 3 of the games are going to end up in London. But if you're a football fan, and let's just say, by the way, the Dolphins, I think, are one of the 9 home games. Who knows
Dolphins
where
and
they'll play them?
Bills.
Yeah. I mean, I hope for the Orlando folks that they get as many of the quote unquote good games, unquote, as possible, and just whatever games end up in London.
Yeah, you've got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Bucks, and then the division games. And obviously the other 2 games, we don't know yet. It will be an AFC and an NFC West opponent.
Okay.
I mean, that's how it falls on the schedule. So wherever they finish, it will be the equal counterpart from those 2 divisions.
I would hope, Mark, that the NFL is smart enough to take a look at that and say, can we keep the Dolphins and Bucks home games in Orlando? Okay, don't put either one of those games in London. Give Orlando and give the Jags, give them, one of their Florida counterparts in another Florida market. Let's see who shows up. Okay.
Problem is, who will have more fans? For the Bucks, Jags, it will be Bucks, and it won't be close.
Well, Mark, I think there's a risk that the Jags games in Orlando could be very Rams-ish at SoFi, very Chargers-ish at SoFi, because, we were talking about it briefly last night. If we were a fan of a road team, what cities can you find a way to make a long weekend out of and do a little trip? And obviously everybody looks at Nashville or they look at Vegas. Well, Orlando?
And think about it, the time of year. Like, this is the cheapest time of the year to do Orlando.
Right.
I mean, it flat out is. The fall is the least expensive time. And as I was mocking David last night, it said it's a little easier to fly from any city to Orlando than it is to Jacksonville.
No doubt.
David's well aware, as someone who is now traveling out of Jacksonville and is connecting in Atlanta or Houston or wherever he's got to connect all the time, Charlotte.
Right.
He knows how, in fact, he connects so often, he knows every airline's daily flights to Atlanta and or Charlotte.
But couldn't you do a day with the mouse and then also do a day at the game? Couldn't
Absolutely.
you make a long weekend of that with the family if you're a fan of a road team? So I'm thinking that there's going to be a decent number of road fans at these Jags games in Orlando.
I agree. And if I'm, if I'm sending New Orleans across the pond,
okay,
I am. They typically don't do division games, right?
Typically.
In Europe.
Yes.
So I would send New Orleans and then one of the two West opponents.
Okay.
I know they don't like typically to send AFC and NFC West teams to Europe. Oh, they're doing 3 games.
Right. Okay, because the Orlando Stadium is just 60,000. I think that would be, along with Soldier Field, that's like smallest capacity in the league. And so financially, the Bucks are like, hey, instead of 2 games in London, can you give us 3 that year? And the NFL was like, yeah, sure. Love it. So, that's a big moneymaker for the Jags, 3 games in London.
If you're Jackson, and I understand what you're saying about the Florida teams, but let me just ask you this again. Because David, you and I both know if they play the Bucks and or Miami in Orlando, I don't think they have home field advantage. Certainly not with the Bucks, and I don't think so with Miami either. I mean, it is Florida's first team. There are Dolphin fans everywhere in this state.
No doubt about it.
And particularly in Orlando.
Yeah, they were.
More so than the Tampa area, obviously.
Yeah.
If you're the Jags, are you sure you don't want one of the Florida teams to be playing you in Europe?
Huh. I was just thinking to try to appease as many fans as possible. Like, I would be jacked if I was a Bucks fan or a Dolphin fan that, wait a minute, we got a road game in Orlando this year? I'm going. I'd be excited about that. You're right, though. It may not be conducive to home field advantage, but
it'd be like a bowl game. I mean, it would be fun.
But I'm trying to appease, I guess, as many fan bases as possible. I mean, everybody's got, a 90-minute to 2-hour drive to the game. Let's go.
So, and again, someone saying that with putting dollar signs up, not in September, October, November. It's as cheap as the hotels get in Orlando. And there's a gazillion of them.
Right. Because in theory, most of the country's back to school. Now you start getting close to Thanksgiving, right on through Christmas and what have you. Oh yeah, all bets are off.
But even between Thanksgiving and Christmas, that's not a busy time there. It really isn't. So I think the tickets will sell well. I think you're right, David. I think there will be great road team attendance for these games. Because it is Florida, it's Orlando, and every one of these cities that they're playing has several direct flights to Orlando.
Right. Ryan in our Twitch chat room. I'm a Titans fan. I've lived in Florida for over a decade. I've never been to a Titans-Jags game. But let me tell you, if they schedule that sucker for Orlando, done deal.
And that's not an April Fool's joke. I think he means that.
I hope so. Please don't April Fools us. We're doing a show and reading your comments live. Okay. Don't do that to us. Have a heart.
I think if you do something really good, you might be able to fool one of us. That's all I'm saying.
No
Miller
doubt.
and Moulton.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
No, I don't think it's an actual rule, Ryan. I'm with you. If they have, I don't recall. If they have, it would have been with Jacksonville, don't you think? I'm with you, Ryan. It's not funny, EB. It's not funny at all. Especially right now, we are as in bad of shape as we've ever been with sponsors since we've gone on our own. Like to the point where I'm not sleeping at night bad. But You would think to watch a highlight on a website, you'd have to watch, a 30-second highlight. I have to watch a 30-second commercial. You would think they'd give me a 10. At least
Right.
YouTube lets you skip them. All I want to do is watch this goalie fight. I haven't seen it yet. Minute 30 highlight, 30-second commercial. Doesn't seem fair.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks for being with us on this hump day. We get over it together. It's April 1st. So, yes, April Fool's Day. Chance for you to play a prank, be pranked. That's our poll question. You participate in April Fool's Day? I've been a victim on April Fool's Day, but I've never participated. I don't know why it is. I've never.
You're not a pranker.
I'm not.
You're really, that's not your nature. You're snarky. You tell a joke.
I'm
you tell a good
sarcastic.
story.
Right.
You've done a lot of speaking engagements where you open with good, funny anecdotes.
Yes.
But you're not a prankster. That's not who you are.
Right. I've got my banquet jokes. Absolutely. But no, I can't. I don't know. It's not part of me. I'm trying to think. Did I get picked on as a kid? I mean, is there a reason why I'm against the pranking? I didn't think I got picked on too badly. I mean, I kind of blended in as much as a pudgy kid could. I was always nice to the girls. I mean, I don't know. I was big enough so that the guys didn't necessarily want to, mess with me. Thought I might be able to beat them up. I was just big enough where, they thought, let's not mess with him. Let's mess with Larry Beagleson over there. Take our shot at Kenny Larson. We'll leave Moulton alone.
This just in, I got picked on.
You did?
Oh, yeah. I was short. I was little chubby.
Gotcha.
I got picked on. I did.
Okay.
I'd say that's probably where most of my angst comes from. That and my mouth running got me in trouble on more than one occasion. But most of you don't play April Fool's jokes. I'm a passive-aggressive April Fool's prank player where I have my daughter play them on my wife. I did play them on my mother when I was a child because my uncle talked me into it.
Wow. My father was a prankster. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time with him, so I didn't get pranked by him a lot. But my father was a prankster, and a good one, detailed, would work at it, draw it out even. Okay. He was good at it.
The Norm Macdonald joke of pranksters.
No question about it. He was real. And what's funny is okay, even though we all called him Tom, his first name was Norman. So yes. Okay. He was very good at it.
But that is our poll question today. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller _Moulton on X. If you are not on X and want to answer and even maybe add in what your great prank was, you can text the show. Pelican Roofing of Florida text line 21,000. If you've never texted the show, you need to text the keyword Miller. Once you've done that, you can text as much as you'd like. Did get a good text, David. It's not a prank. It's just an honest text from someone when we're talking about, maybe Tampa playing Jacksonville in Orlando in a couple of years when they move to Camping World Stadium for a year. This person simply says, those Tampa fans going to Orlando on I-4, it's probably going to take them longer to get there than it is those coming from Jacksonville. You make a dadgum good point. You really do.
Really do. Listen, I know this, we don't talk about this very much, but you know me in Halls of Fame, just a gut feeling. Is Doc Rivers a Hall of Famer to you? He's top 10 all-time in coaching wins. He, of course, led the Celtics to a title. He's also lost more 7-game series, went up 3-1 than any coach in the history of the sport by far. He was a good player for over a decade. At his best, he was a very good player, but he had a good playing career, and he's had a long coaching career. I mean, nearly 30
Okay.
years coaching.
Where is he, did you say, in wins? He's in top 10 wins all time? Is that what you said?
He's 8th all-time in wins.
Oh, geez. Not to me. He's the Hall of Very Good. You know, good player, very good coach. I think it's got to be multiple championships as a coach. I really do.
Okay. I mean, obviously there are players / coaches that are in there who, I think Jerry Sloan's, the late Jerry Sloan's a Hall of Famer, never won it as a coach. Okay. Now, I think Jerry was a better player than Doc Rivers, close, but a better player.
But I don't think that you see, to me, you have to you don't combine those two. Those are separate things. Because you were a good player and a very good coach. Now we add those two together and that makes you a Hall of Famer. I don't agree with that philosophy.
Okay, well, but in fairness, the Basketball Hall of Fame philosophy is your entire basketball career. So like college counts also.
No, I know. It's a different Hall of Fame. But
right.
You asked me what I think. And I don't think of him as a Hall of Famer.
I'm with you. It's why I asked. Listen, I happen to like Amari Stoudemire. I liked him a lot as a player. He's a very likable guy. Had a smile on his face most of his career. Would things be different if David Stern hadn't gotten involved in the Spurs-Suns Western Conference Final back in, I think it was 2007? Because if he had left well enough alone, Phoenix probably wins that series. Phoenix would have destroyed LeBron and the Cavs, and Amari and Nash would have gotten their ring. Phoenix would finally have their banner. Okay. But David Stern got involved. The Spurs won the series. And so, I think to me, Amari Stoudemire is not a Hall of Famer. Now, would he have been if his knees hadn't failed them? I think so. But it looks as if he's getting in.
But I know Blake Griffin's not on this class. You and I talked about him. You think he's getting in, and I'm like, really? Because I don't think of him as a Hall of Famer at all. And he's not making this class by all accounts. But it's just, this is a Hall of Fame that I miss on more than I'm right.
Well,
with the Basketball Hall of Fame. I miss far more than I'm right. I'm better at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm better at baseball. I'm better at hockey. The basketball one I miss on a lot.
See, to me, and now granted, this is going to show my age, but I don't see how you can put Amari Stoudemire in and not put Marcus Johnson in. First off, going back, he was a phenomenal college player at UCLA. All right. I think led him to 2 Final Fours and a title. All right. That's number one. Number two, he was a phenomenal trend-setting player in the NBA. He arguably was the first point forward in NBA history. Okay, because Oscar Robertson was a guard, the size of a forward, but a guard. But I mean, Don Nelson, made Marcus Johnson the point forward. He was the center of their offense in Milwaukee. Take a look at his numbers. I mean, we're talking like 21-8. For 7-8 years. He was a tremendous player. First and second team All-NBA for the first 8 years of his career. Then he got hurt. Well, the same thing happened to Amari Stoudemire. 8 years in Phoenix, has one great year with the Knicks. His knees fall apart. What's the difference? And obviously, they've had 35 years to put Marcus Johnson in the Hall of Fame, and they apparently have no interest.
David, we got a few texts with some April Fool's jokes I want to share because I think they're worthy. Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. Me and my sister's best friend convinced my sister that we started dating in high school for April Fool's one year. She wasn't too happy about it. I like that. I think that's fun. Played one on my mom. I once told her the wrong names of every player on my team. So when she would come to at bat, she would cheer for Jimmy and his name was Tommy. That's mean and funny all at the same time. In my father's drinking days, he and his buddies used a crane to put their boss's truck on top of his garage. That's dangerous.
That is.
I don't mean, if you know how to run the crane and all that, it's dangerous because you could get fired.
JB in the Twitch chat room said when he was in college, he changed the clocks on his 2 roommates, and they were an hour off. And needless to say, it affected them being in certain classes or not. Ouch.
Kevin Brockway to talk the Gators and some football next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
It's pretty good, JB. I like that one. I'm impressed by that. That's mean, but also takes some work. It's impossible to do now because everybody gets the time from their phone. So that it dates you, but that's okay. I read another mock this morning. That's a recent one. The Athletic guy just did another one yesterday. Tampa Bay taking the tight end. I'm telling you. And it basically says because the edge guys they want, they picked up the one edge in the free agency, and the good edge guys are gone by then. And it's too early to take a linebacker, which they can get with pick 46. So it's just.
Do you trade up then?
You're going to lose your mind if they take. This guy's considered the only first-round tight end in the draft, Tim. Like, this guy is a matchup nightmare. Are you sure? Now you got Ibuka, Godwin, what McMillan is. That's a guy I was trying to think of yesterday. And you got a tight end, and you can go 12 personnel. Okay, if you think so. What do you want? Are there good corners there? The top 2 corners, from what I see, will be gone by then. In fact, I see them, like this draft had them going, I want to say like 11. Miami's getting 1. It's got Cincinnati getting the safety from Ohio State, Miami getting the corner from LSU, and I thought one other corner was gone before then, but I'm not positive. I'm starting to dive in a little deeper every day on this. Yes, they are, Johnny Mac. by 1 spot. I'm with you, Tim. But again, it said, the edge they picked up in free agency helps there, and it's too early to take a linebacker, which I don't disagree with the second fact. If there's an edge guy there, Tim, I think you have to take him if someone's worthy of that. But I'm not going to argue with the Bucs if they go edge there at all. If Tate goes to the Giants at 5, I would fall over. I saw him at 16 to the Jets in this one. And that, I think, but at the same time, you draft an Ohio State wide receiver. Are you really making a bad move? But I think if it was between the linebacker from Ohio State and the wide receiver from Ohio State, I think David would rather it be the wide receiver.
I'd trade down.
I know you would, but I'm just, if I'm giving you that scenario, David, who would you can't trade down, you can't trade up. The wide receiver from the Buckeyes or the linebacker from the Buckeyes? Who do you want?
The wide receiver.
That's all I'm saying.
Kevin's ready to go.
Thank you, Rick.
But I did laugh because the Jets are taking the edge, Pierce there from Ohio State in this draft, Pierce, and then they're taking Tate. I'm like, all right, hey, you could go to worse places to get 2 players, right?
Darn right.
I mean, best defensive player, best offensive player. Okay.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Seth Everett will join us for his weekly visit then. We'll talk hockey with Dave McCarthy 1 hour from now. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's a hump day, but it's also the first day of April. Do you participate in April Fool's Day pranks? That's our poll question. Vote accordingly. He doesn't seem like an April Fool's Day pranker. Are you, Kevin Brockway? Gainesville's son, covers the Gators for a living. Follow him on X. Kevin Brockway, G1. Are you a pranker?
Well, there's an interesting story with me in April Fool's Day. I was the butt of the joke because it's my birthday. So,
happy birthday.
My brother-in-law has the same birthday as you. Happy birthday, Kevin.
Yes. So, when I was a kid, I was relentlessly teased, as you can imagine.
Well,
I can believe that. I can believe that. I know the stories from my brother-in-law. He says the same thing. All right. The Gators. Spring ball is underway. Obviously, Gator fan has endured a bad run here. And I don't know how high their expectations are right now, but they want a turnaround. What I'm reading is all the things I've seen from Summerall are solid. I like the way he's handled everything. But I'm hearing the practices are tougher, more physical, more demanding. I think those things would make a Gator fan happy. Is that what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, he wants more of it, and he mentioned that yesterday too. He doesn't think it's quite there yet, but he is demanding it. You can see it when you go out in the practice field. You see on the blocking sleds, guys like Gerald Chapman, one of the assistants, really pushing these guys. It's interesting because you focused so much last year on the offense and Billy Napier. I mean, there were some games if you could recall last year, where they didn't tackle well, they didn't block well, and line of scrimmage, which I thought was starting to turn at the end of 2024 when they had that 4-game winning streak, really took a step back again in 2025. So I think Summerall is we're targeting the right areas. I mean, listen, scoring points is important too, but yeah, this team has to get physically tougher.
They scrimmaged this past weekend, right? The first scrimmage. What were you able to take from it?
Yeah, apparently, neither side of the ball dominated, which I guess is interesting, because usually in these early scrimmages, the defense is ahead of the offense. And maybe that speaks to Buster Faulkner and some of the things that he's doing. You keep on hearing too that the offense has the potential with some of the wide receivers, and certainly Jaden Bond, Duke Clark from Tampa behind him. They feel really good about the running game. Eric Singleton, I think the wide receiver that they brought in from Auburn, has performed pretty well, and so has Micah Mays, a kid from West Palm Beach, a transfer from Wake Forest. He's really flashed early in practices, so I think they feel pretty good about the skill position room. Offensive line, I heard was kind of up and down, and they're trying a lot of different, combinations. And Bill Troutwine is a guy that, certainly was a former Gator on the, 06 and 08 national championship teams that was brought in from Penn State. He's got a lot of pedigree as a coach, but they've got work to do in that area.
All right. Well, obviously, they also have work to do in the most important position. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. They brought in the kid from Georgia Tech. They've got Jones back. So from a quarterback, everything I'm seeing is that it's a 50-50 wide open quarterback competition. Is that pretty accurate, Kevin?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, day to day, you go out there and, different guys look good on different days. Tramel Jones throws a very pretty ball. I mean, and he talked about it, his spin rate. He's got kind of smaller hands. So when you watch him throw the football, you're very impressed. But Aaron Philo knows the offense. Obviously, coming with Buster Faulkner, there's a comfort level there. So each day you hear different things as far as, which one is looking a little better than the other. You got the kid from Tampa, Will Griffin, the freshman, the Gatorade Player of the Year also, who has a lot of physical tools, might have the strongest arm of the group, but is still young and very raw. So I think it's a quarterback competition that's going to go into the fall, and, we'll see from there, which one emerges. But, the orange and blue game on April 11th will be very interesting to see, which quarterback, maybe performs a little better, or if they're really as even as everything that we're hearing.
Kevin Brockway covers the Gators football and basketball for the Gainesville Sun and the Gannett Network throughout the state of Florida. Follow Kevin on X, Kevin Brockway G1, Kevin Brockway G1. Listen, we haven't seen him coach a game yet. We're hoping for the best, but what is the most interesting thing that John Summerall has said, in your estimation, in the 3 months since he's taken the gig?
Well, he's harped a lot on the strength and conditioning program. I think that's, and he's brought in Rusty Witt, and he's talked a lot about, that aspect of it and trying to get that better. He's also talked a lot about special teams too, prioritizing special teams. And he's really, he's brought in former coaches, David. He's developed an early connection with Urban Meyer. It seems like a guy that, Urban was involved in the search process. It's a guy that he seems to lean on. He brought him in for the coaching clinic over the weekend. Ron Zook was on the sidelines yesterday, which was interesting, and he even had him talk to the team. So I think he's kind of embraced the Gator history and the lineage and brought people back to the program. And, we mentioned before Phil Troutwine, Bam Hardman, another assistant too, with Florida ties. So I think all that, to me, is intriguing, and it shows that, he has a respect and the reverence of the history of this program. He wants to get it back, and he's trying to do it the best he can.
All right. Well, you mentioned, the skill positions look good. The two running backs look good. We have a true quarterback competition. And bringing in an OC from Tech, we saw last year, with King, he ran, he threw. But obviously, it's Summerall's team. So what do you suspect this offense, if it's working right, looks like? Is it a passing offense? Is it a hybrid offense? What should we expect to see out of the Gators offense, Kevin?
I think it's going to be a passing offense. You see them working a lot of jet sweeps too, so I think you're going to see a lot of wide receiver runs and stuff too. But I do think that it's going to be a balanced offense. It's going to have a lot of tempo to it. It's going to be able to go fast when they need to. I think and slow down when they have to. But I think that's going to put the pressure. He wants the offense that puts the pressure on opposing defenses and. He said, account for every blade of grass. And listen, Faulkner comes in, obviously he's a proven guy. His offense at Georgia Tech last year was top 10. So I think there's cautious optimism that it's going to look much better than it has in the last few years. But and certainly we'll see. I mean, Dallas Wilson obviously has been dealing with, some foot issues still in camp, but I still think there are enough receivers and depth there. That they feel good. Not much, no one really scares you at the tight end position, but the wide receivers and the running backs look pretty good.
Kevin, in your estimation or in their estimation, is their personnel on defense good enough that in theory, if they got coached up right, they'd be a good defense? I mean, we wondered the last couple of years, is it scheme? Is it personnel? Well, now it's a new regime. He's been pretty honest in some of the deficiencies that he's pointed out in the program. Just curious, the personnel on defense, are they good enough?
I think they're looking for a guy on defense that can really scare you, like an impact guy. And can that guy develop? I mean, Jaden Wood showed flashes of that last year, and that's the hope, right? And, LJ McCray, a 5-star, obviously coming out of high school out of Daytona Beach. They were certainly a guy with a lot of potential, but has had some injury issues. He's having a good camp kind of on the other side. Another intriguing guy is a Jacksonville State transfer, Emmanuel Obadajo, the Nigerian by way of Manchester, England. He's 6'6", 305 pounds. Has all the measurables, had 6 sacks at Jacksonville State, lower level last season. They're trying to coach him up. I see Gerald Chapman on the sled saying strike harder, get him, a little tougher and ready for the SEC competition. But he's got a lot of tools that they're hoping for. So I think that's what they're looking for. The linebacker position, I think with Aaron Childs has had a good camp, and Miles Graham is, recovering from shoulder surgery, but he was back out there yesterday. I think they feel pretty good about that. And then we'll see in the back end. I mean, Ben Hanks had an interception in the first scrimmage. He's a guy that's a redshirt freshman sophomore that, maybe could take a step forward here. Cormani McLean, as has a lot of talent. And with him, it's, staying focused on the task at hand. And Dijon Johnson also coming off surgery. So I think it's, like I said, a matter of, finding those playmakers to emerge. They want to force more turnovers too. That's been an issue the last couple of years.
All right, let's switch gears to hoop. They lost the big fella. He's entered the portal. Other than that, how different is this basketball team going to be next year? What are they losing? What do they have to get in the portal? Expectations are now set high for the Florida Gator basketball program. Unfortunately, as a 1 seed, they underachieved in the tournament. Where do they go from here?
Well, when you say they lost the big guy, they lost the walk-on, the 7'9" guy. Yeah, they haven't lost any of the key big guys yet, which is Hauk, Chinyalu, and, Condon. And I think they're still waiting on that as far as, what, how the jigsaw, pieces are going to fit, whether those guys go to the NBA draft or they come back. I've been told behind the scenes that they're working really hard to get Condon and Chinyalu back. I think they think Hauk, it's a foregone conclusion that he'll enter the draft because he's a surefire first-round pick and will get the guaranteed money. So I think, when you get those two guys back, a lot of the guards are coming back. It looks like they're eligible. Boogie Fland, Urban Clavshar, who was the SEC Sixth Man of the Year, Isaiah Brown. So I think they feel pretty good there. But if, some guys leave in the front court, they're going to have to look elsewhere. And, I think Todd has been pretty savvy internationally and in the transfer portal. And you hear rumblings about certain guys in that area that they could pick up if those guys leave. So that has the potential to be a new look team up front, but I think they feel pretty good about the returning pieces in the backcourt.
it's new this year, right? Isn't this the first year of the 15-day window, which is in April? It's like next week. Is it the 7th through the 21st, something like that? That's when everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to officially, like, if you announce you're at Florida and you're entering the portal, you don't have to find your next school in 15 days, but you have to announce it, right?
Yeah, that's the way it works. And, people are already announcing now, though, obviously,
Right.
they say we're going to attend to put it in the portal. So they're trying to get their names out there. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting window. And, I think it's good now that it's after the Final Four, because before, the way the calendar worked, it kind of was a distraction, right, when it was during March. So I think the window makes a little more sense. And, there's going to be a little bit of a coaching carousel. Too, I think Todd is, you think, though, based on what you're hearing, that he's pretty happy and pretty safe at Florida, but you never know with, the UNC job still open. And what if Bill Self does something at Kansas, right? Or what if Tommy Lloyd goes to UNC and then Arizona opens up and that's Todd's home state? But I think that, the rest of this month, the way it plays out is going to be interesting for sure.
Kevin, thanks for doing this. Happy birthday. We appreciate your time. All right. And hopefully we can talk.
Thank you, guys. Yes.
And hopefully we can talk sometime after the, the blue and orange game there.
Anytime, guys. Thank you so much.
Kevin Brockway, Gainesville's son. Follow him on X, Kevin Brockway, Brockway. Kevin Brockway, G1. Kevin Brockway, G1.
Yeah, he got the pranks played on him. My brother-in-law, it's his birthday. He is not an April Fool's fan. Apparently, if your birthday's on this day, you take a lot of grief growing up.
Ah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, well, comes with the territory.
Yeah, I know.
You're just a few days before Christmas. You lived on blue sweaters. So, not all of us can be as lucky to have a summer birthday so we can experience joy twice a year, David.
Spoken like a guy whose birthday's in the final 10 days of April or August. Excuse me. Yeah.
Right. And remember, I grew up at a time, I think my senior year in high school, we started school right around my birthday. But before that, it was after Labor Day.
Sure.
For whatever reason, either my last year or my last 2 years, they decided to start school a little earlier in late August. But for the most part, it was the Monday or the Tuesday after Labor Day was the first day of school.
Right. No, you have a there was a week and a half, 2 weeks left of summer. Oh no,
yeah.
You got a gift that you could use.
And if there was a lot of Tigers weekends. I was a Reds fan because the Tigers weren't great. The Big Red Machine. I remember my parents taking me to Cincinnati and doing a Reds game in Kings Island one year. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, I was very lucky with that.
Yeah, I got a sweater.
Blue one.
Usually. Yeah.
It goes with everything, David.
Yeah.
Seth Everett doesn't necessarily go with everything, but he goes with Miller and Moulton pretty well.
Really
and he got to see a goalie fight last night. So we'll talk to him about that and a few other things. Seth Everett's next.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
EPA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Morning, Seth.
Morning.
Nice shirt.
Thanks. I got
Was that the first one that your daughter bought for you on your credit card?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Tampa dad.
Get in as many Devils games as you can before she starts rooting for the Lightning.
Nope. She wants to go Tuesday. Home game against Philly. I'm gonna see if I can finagle.
Did you have fun?
I had a great time. Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun.
Is that oldest or youngest?
Oldest. She we are 1-4 in Devils road games.
Where else have you gone? Like Philly, the island?
So I took her. Yeah. So remember a couple of years ago, I took her to Florida,
Right.
Well, right.
and then we drove to Tampa from Florida, and from Lauderdale, and then so they were 1-1 after that, and then they lost at Washington, they lost at Philly, and they lost last night. They win when we see them at home.
A great April Fool's joke for your daughter would be to wear a Lightning shirt to your house today.
It would be so fun. There'll be a lot of work though to get the Lightning shirt.
Not in a few months, it won't.
Nope.
She's going next weekend with her mom. There's like an admitted students weekend.
Okay, they had this at South Florida because I'm on campus at South Florida. They have that going on right now. It
Yeah.
seems really early to me, but what do I know?
Well, a good thing for her, she's shopping for a roommate. So
Okay.
she's gonna meet a lot of people, and it's a good thing. And it's even better that I'm not going.
Well, then you and the younger one can bond.
I will. We'll hang. Me and the younger one, the superstar.
How'd she become the superstar?
She was in Ocala.
Oh yeah,
She-
gotcha.
She won like
The champ,
a
she's
lot.
champion, right? Champion
Yeah.
jumper. Yeah.
Yeah, she did amazing.
That is my wife's best friend's thing. She's very good at it as well.
Equestrian.
Yeah, she teaches horse, equine. I don't know if it's nutrition or something like that at Rutgers. She's been a professor at Rutgers for quite a
Huh.
while. She's
But the
pretty good at
riders can eat whatever they want.
It's very true. Thank you for that.
No problem.
In fact, if the riders eat hay, it's not really as good for them as it is the horse.
Yes.
Now, if they're a very good rider, that's just being eccentric. If they're not a good rider, they're weird as blank. Right.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home for the show in Jacksonville and Tampa St. Pete. Therefore, for the week, since it is a hump day after all. Final hour of the show, Southwest Florida, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Venice, Live Oak, Lake City, and surrounding areas to both Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's an April Fool's Day. Our poll question is, do you take part or have you taken part in April Fool's pranks? Seth Everett is our guest at this day and time. Are you a prankster?
Not sometimes I'll do jokes, but I don't let it go too far. My favorite one of all time was 10 years ago today, and I just saw it on Facebook Memories. My hockey team, the Devils, they came out that morning and they had announced a logo change, and they changed their whole look and they named themselves the New Jersey Angels. And it was brilliant. I mean, it had a whole logo and jerseys and renderings and all this stuff. And they had, like, this is 10 years ago. So, like, if you think about what they could have done with AI now, where they could have had it, or like the whole arena decorated, it was so smart. And I remember that was my favorite April Fool's, because I fell for it. I was like, oh, well, maybe they changed the name. And I was wrong. I was naive 10 years ago.
All I want, Seth, is for next year for your daughter to send you pictures on April Fools of herself in a Tampa Bay Lightning jersey. That's all I want.
Right.
A Kucherov jersey. I don't care. Vaseline. It doesn't matter to me. Braden Point, whatever she wants to do. How heartbroken would you be if her fandom changed in the 4 years she's in Tampa?
It's not going to. I have no worry whatsoever. Just outside of the
she's now in a
12
champion.
minutes
She's
that
going to
I'm
be.
here, I never think about this. Say again.
She's going to be in a championship city now. You know, a team that wins in the postseason.
That's right. That's right.
A real hockey area, Florida. You know.
Did you enjoy your first goalie fight, or was it your first goalie fight last night?
Well, no, I mean, 20 years ago, I was there for Waugh versus Vernon. Patrick.
So
Waugh
your guys
and Mike
lost
Vernon.
both goalie fights you've seen.
Yeah, those goalie fights. Yeah, this one was wild. I have pictures of it. It was pretty nuts. I mean, I understood the logic of it, but I didn't understand why Markstrom skated all the way over there. I've seen so many more egregious hits on goalies that I didn't. And the Cotter one wasn't an intentional hit. I mean, it was incidental contact, and yeah, I mean, he didn't like hold up and try to not hit the guy, but that was quite a tete-a-tete. And boy, they replay that a lot in that scoreboard.
Yes,
and I didn't think it was like one dominated the other. I thought it was kind of even.
Well,
He's
you're a
got a
Devils
couple of
fan
shots,
right now, and you're showing it because I'm neutral and I don't care about either of those teams. I don't like really either of those teams. And he did initiate contact on the goaltender. I thought it was ridiculous that he skated all the way down to start a fight with the other goaltender because Shesterkin just, he kind of went over quickly and then he skated away and he's just standing there. And here this guy comes 200 feet. I think he might have been a little winded from the skate, but he clearly lost the fight. He got hit more and ended up on his back. So, I mean, Seth, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't like your team. I don't like David's team. I really don't. But I give your goalie credit for doing it because in an otherwise meaningless hockey game between two teams that aren't making the playoffs and have nothing to play for, it leads the highlights now. So good
100%.
for him for making the skate. I mean, really and truly, good for him.
100%. Yeah, no, it was a good time.
Well, the other thing is, quite frankly, that, did Markstrom overreact, the Devils goalie? Yeah, okay, he did. And did he get beat in the fight? Yeah, he did. But the fact is, he saw Shesterkin, who wasn't doing anything, but he saw him in the scrum. So he said, "Ooh, it's 6-on-5. I can't allow that to happen." Now, as he's skating down, Shesterkin takes himself out of the scrum, but he didn't care. He's like, it's on. Okay, well, but we've spent time talking about there's another hockey team in Toronto when they took out their best player and the whole team didn't react to it.
Didn't do a thing.
I'd much rather have your
this.
goalie overreact, in a meaningless situation, than what the Toronto hockey team did. I mean, I didn't care if the Devils and Rangers fought for the final 11 minutes of the game. What the hell? Go.
Right. Do like the Lightning Panthers game in the preseason.
Yeah. Right. Hey, look at both. Literally, when the teams have nothing to play for, those players, by showing some toughness and some character in things that matter in hockey, are showing the general manager, I'm not the guy that you want to get rid of in the offseason. I mean, that's
100%.
That's what you're doing. So I'm all for it. I have no problem with it. I'm with you, David. I think your assessment's right on.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. That was the loudest that building got, and we were commenting earlier that I remember. Yeah, I haven't been to Madison Square Garden since 2018. That's a long time. And I got, we sat there and I said, okay, well, this is the magical arena, the whole thing. And it just seemed very pedestrian for the first two periods. It was just kind of like, it was like a regular game. No big deal. And then when that fight happened, I go, that's Madison Square Garden. Like that. You heard the acoustics in there are great. And it was finally like, it was intense. It was a lot of fun.
It's why
it's a schlep. It's a schlep.
Well, for you, okay, but it's why it's a great concert arena. If you ever have a chance to go, okay, whether it's hockey, basketball, or especially a concert, for whatever reason, the acoustics in that building are great.
I saw Prince there about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Okay. And so, it's part of why musicians think it's a special place. It does sound very good when you get there. Curious, I don't think we talked about this last week. So big announcement. Seattle's going to get a team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like
is your life now complete? Okay. Like the team that wins the championship and the guy holds up the sign that says, now I can rest in peace. Okay.
Yeah.
If the Sonics are coming back, are you done basically? Do you have any more angst?
toward what? Toward Starbucks?
Anything, life in general, anything.
No more angst whatsoever. No, it looks it was very, I'm very happy for the people that are happy about it. It seems like the NBA is a very, very different league 20 years later. And a lot of the people that I've talked to, and I'm planning a podcast on this, just they're getting their wish. They didn't want a relocated franchise. They didn't want to take the Sacramento Kings. They didn't want to get the Pelicans. So now they're going to get an expansion team. And look, I'm thrilled. We don't know who's going to own it. The arena looks great. I've been to the arena. It's super nice. I'm happy for the folks in Seattle. I don't feel the same fervor that 20 years ago. 20 years ago it was egregious. 20 years later, it's kind of like, no, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what the league has. I'm thrilled that they're going to get the banners and the jerseys and the retired numbers and things like that.
Seth, are you at all, because we're miffed by it. We are completely miffed. I mean, what they're going to charge for these NBA expansion franchises. The Trailblazers were just sold. The guy from the Hurricanes bought him and sold an eighth of his team, which puts the value of based on what he got for an eighth of the team, puts the Carolina Hurricanes value at $3 billion. Like, David and I look at that and go, I don't see it. Are we wrong here?
I know.
Or I mean, are these franchises really worth that, Seth?
I know. When I talked to Tom Friend of Sports Business Journal about all the things with the RSNs and the disparity in revenue, not payroll, revenue, I said that if the operating costs are so egregious and the revenue is so depleted, how are the valuations so high? And that was on the heels of when the Lakers had just been sold and the Celtics had just been sold. So that was about 6 to 8 weeks ago when I had him on that podcast. But you're absolutely right. Where is the value coming from? Why is it so profitable to own these franchises when the operating costs are so exorbitant?
Is it simply because there's only 30 of them or 32 of them? Maybe the NHL is going to expand up to 36. But, I don't understand how the Portland Trailblazers can be worth as much as the Washington Commanders. And I understand it's 82 games compared to 8 or 9 or 10 home dates. But, I mean, it's an NFL franchise.
Right. You would think. Right. I know Michael Ozanian. He used to be at Forbes. He's now at CNBC. He's a good guy on valuations. He always comes out with his franchise evaluations. He might be. I've had him on the podcast a couple of times. I would ask him that exact question.
Well, maybe we will.
You should.
All right. Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. You only work part-time now. Which one are you doing?
2026 MLB season preview with Jason Stark of The Athletic, a Hall of Famer. Jason's been on the podcast a couple of times. Last time he came on, the sport was in a very different place in 2022 than it is in 2026. We talk about that, the resurgence in popularity, whether or not the on-field product is any better, and we talk about revenues and labor and the union and everything that is also facing baseball. But it's not a rip job. It's a pretty objective podcast. Jason Stark and Sports with Friends. Yeah, he was on.
Gut feeling. We only have a minute. Do you think baseball can continue thriving if they lose like half of next year?
No. Oh, no. They're screwed. I mean, they're screwed. What he remains hopeful that they're not missing games. He knows there'll be a labor stoppage, but he thinks they might be able to get it before they miss games, just like the last one. We'll see.
Wow.
Well, no. He wasn't predicting that. He was saying he was hopeful.
Still, that's a wow.
Yeah.
Because seriously, every player that's interviewed says we're basically planning on not playing next year.
War chest, ramen noodles, 6 for $1. Yep.
Right. Ramen noodles.
I don't think they're 6 for $1 anymore.
No, it's like 4 for $1 now. Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. Follow him on X at Seth_Everett, Seth_Everett. Seth, all the best. Thanks.
Thank you for having me. Jimmy Olsen, Matt McClure, hopefully next week for Hall of Justice. From the Christopher Reeve movies. The guy who played Jimmy Olsen. The only guy alive.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I did not know that. That's a nice little factoid. Maybe some Jerry McNamara questions next week. At least his stepbrother reference that he had in his presser. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at
The
AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Oh, you've grown quiet, chat room. I switched some stuff off. Nothing in the break. You guys are just bored this morning. Are we that boring today? If we are, I'll bring up Tiger again and start making fun of him.
Forget who it was in the chat room who was talking about all the infielders coming to the mound. It's been that way forever. Remember the Bull Durham? You know, I mean, that's.
I'm not bringing up Jaden. I mean, what's there to bring up? He found Jesus and he hates gay people. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but how's that a good segment? He can say whatever. We've talked about this forever. Freedom of speech is one thing. It does not mean freedom of repercussions. He's a nobody. He couldn't make it in Detroit. They got rid of him. He wasn't playing in Chicago. I mean, it sucks that a guy that was a 5th overall pick turned out to be a bust.
I actually think the interesting part of the story is that he trashed Catholicism. His sister, or no, is it his sister or his mom? His mom, I think, is the women's coach at Notre Dame. Played there, longtime assistant. Okay, that to me is the fascinating part of this, how she is going to have to respond publicly at some point.
I mean, you've listened to this show for a long time, Deadstroke. We don't do religion. We don't do politics. We make fun of Catholics occasionally because we're both Catholic.
Right, and we can. We've donated enough money to the cause. We get to crack the occasional joke.
And we still are, at least one family. Holy Toledo.
My mom's contributing. She's contributing more and more the older she gets.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Dave McCarthy to talk hockey in a little more than 15 minutes time. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It is a hump day, but it's April 1st. And so we just asked, you get involved in the whole April 1st, April Fool's Day pranks? Yes or no?
One of two things is going on, David, and it could be both. There are a lot of people that are done with X, that aren't using it the way that they once did.
Right.
Or our poll questions suck.
Okay.
Because there was a time not too long ago, our numbers for us were decent. Now there are like 6 people answering our poll question. And this one was out at the beginning of the show. We both reposted it in a pretty timely fashion. I will say I can't tell the story on the air, and I don't want to because it's not mine. But if you have a moment today, and I wouldn't do it on your work computer, I'd do it at lunch in your car. Find Danny DeVito tell the story of the prank they pulled on him on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think it's an all-timer.
Okay.
It's pretty solid. I mean, the links that the cast and crew went to prank DeVito is pretty good. And he tells the story quite well. So that's all I'll give you because, I do like, I mean, some of these pranks that people have shared with us on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line are pretty solid. I mean, they're better than mine. All I've really done is have my daughter come up with a fake illness. And I've done it when I'm doing the show, when I was doing the show at a studio too. So I've not only convinced my daughter to do the prank when she gets up, I've left the house.
Right. Well
so
played.
I can't take any grief in the moment, which is dangerous.
I was reminded this morning, my daughter for a few years would play pranks on my mother. Okay. She would.
Really?
Yes. And my wife's not a prankster and I'm not a prankster, but my daughter is very much a prankster.
Yes, she is. She has your daughter has a great sense of humor. She really and truly does.
And so, she had the daycare convinced that we were adopting for quite a few days, right? She also told everybody that she was born on the roof of the hospital because she was born in Fargo in the floods. And she was born in Fargo and she was born right during the floods, but she was not born on the roof of the hospital. Okay, so my daughter's got the prankster in her. Okay,
And
that
I have this feeling, and I don't know your son-in-law well. I've met him, just one time. Seems like a nice young man. You speak very highly of him,
yeah,
and that's enough for me, to be brutally honest, because you are brutally honest. So if you didn't like
yeah,
him, I would know this by now.
right,
Not on air, but off air. And David speaks very highly of him.
right.
But in my brief meeting of him, he seems like he could be taken for a prank by your wife.
Oh,
Like if, or
absolutely.
by your daughter, rather. Like
Yeah.
if your daughter wanted to really get him,
Yeah.
I know her. I know who her father is. She got all of the snark and sarcasm of her father while getting all of the nice, wonderful things of her mother. So that makes her a very believable person.
Correct.
That's where you and I would have trouble with from a prank.
Right.
If we start doing that, there's so much snark in
Right.
us
Right.
that pulling off an elaborate prank is difficult. Like I think my wife, if she really tried, like you said, she's really, really nice.
Right. Because she comes off as trustworthy, so people would go hook, line, and sinker with whatever she was selling.
And her
Right.
job, she's a veterinarian. People trust veterinarian. I think that like if she wanted to pull off an elaborate prank, I think she could get away with it. I think similarly
Yes.
of your daughter.
Yeah.
Like
Plus,
she's a good person. She has a job that makes her trustworthy, and she has all of the biting snark and sarcasm of her father, and not everybody knows that.
yeah. Plus, she's the boss. So, yeah. I mean, she's the authority figure in the relationship and in the house. So, yeah, absolutely. So, I'll be curious. I will talk to her later today whether or not, she is mellowed with age or whether or not she's pulling something off on either one of her kids or on her husband. Um, I did want to throw something out there. This may seem obvious to you, Mark. It just didn't hit me as obvious. If you were Hal Steinbrenner and the Yankees, how do you feel about the Rays? Remember, they're moving to Tampa. Remember, you're in Tampa. Now, I understand it's just, minor leagues and what have you, but they want to move to Tampa. In fact, they want to move across the street from where you do spring training. And yet, there are some owners, I mean, let's be honest, there are some owners who would be dead set against this. The Steinbrenner family's all in on the Rays moving to Tampa. They went public with a letter. Okay, they're trying to pressure the Hillsborough County politicians. They're like, yeah, this is a great thing. This is far and away the best, solution that's been proposed, and we've been here the whole time. And they flat out said the Rays and their fans deserve this. You need to give it to them. I was very impressed with the letter that, like Tiger released a statement yesterday. Crap. Okay. The Yankees released a statement yesterday. I was really impressed with it. I was like, damn, they're all in on this. Huh.
I guess the only thing that would, to me, make them bothered, and obviously I've not, if it's happening, I've not heard it, but they play their A-ball team at Steinbrenner Field. They're, their Florida State League team, and they're not telling them to go anywhere.
No.
So, if you're a Yankee fan and still want to go catch your low A-ball team play, they're still playing.
Yeah. I mean, I believe if the Rays are able to move to Tampa, I'm pretty sure that the A-ball team will remain where it currently is. But I don't know. I just know that there are certain owners, do you think the Cubs and the White Sox would cooperate? I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. And they share different sides of the same city. I don't think the ownerships would cooperate at all.
Well, and think about it, but you go back generations, the Mets and the Yankees worked together.
Yeah. Yankees
When
had
the Yankees
Yankee
had to
Stadium.
redo the stadium.
Right. And they did.
So maybe there's some of that, and obviously it was his father at that time, but Hal obviously is aware of what happened then. So, and hey, good for him for being for baseball, because when I've been walking the campus of South Florida every day. Part of what I need to do is I'm getting back on my feet. They want me to exercise. Good for, and I should anyhow. So I walk that campus of South Florida every day. Classes get out between 10:45 and 11. I'm right in the middle of campus every day, and I see hundreds of kids. I very rarely see Rays stuff. I see Lightning stuff every day. Did see a guy yesterday in a Mayfield jersey and Bucks hat. They were the creamsicle jerseys too. But, I see a lot of Buck stuff when I'm out and about at the grocery store, wherever.
Right.
I see a lot of Lightning stuff. I don't see the Rays stuff. And it'll come when they come to Tampa. They're not a Tampa team right now. They're not.
The other thing, it reminds me, the Yankees took it easy on the Rays. I mean, they charged them $15 million to lose their ballpark last year, but out of that $15 million, the Yankees did the operating costs. I mean, the Yankees didn't make a ton of money having the Rays play in their ballpark last year.
No, but they did get it refurbished basically for free.
Yeah.
I mean, the spring training home of the Yankees now did get a little polish put on it.
It looks pretty nice. That's true. Dave McCarthy next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
correct, EB. I gave fair warning. It's funny, but I would think it's funnier if you're a man, one, and two, you can't listen to that around other people. I will say I've had to laugh. Now, I've had my wife jump into the show Shrinking with me, and I'm in the second season, and I'm telling her how funny it is. We watched 2 episodes, and they're bringing some storylines together, and I've got tears in my eyes, and one, she's crying. I'm going, she goes, and you said this is funny, and I'm like, well, finally got her a funny one. Got a buddy who claims to be who is in tight with someone who's a big UNC booster, and he is telling me the UNC people want Kenny Smith. Are you absolutely out of your mind? That's a disaster waiting to happen.
Dave is ready to go.
I've seen Derek Stroop. I'm about to dump Netflix for Paramount. No, Panda. Not even The Sopranos. Could always watch it on rerun.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Thanks so much for being with us on this hump day, April Fool's Day. Focus of our poll question: do you participate in April's Fool's pranks? Yay or nay? Vote accordingly. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. Dave McCarthy, busy guy. He covers hockey, writes about it for NHL.com, talks about it, hosts a Sunday brunch on SiriusXM NHL Radio Channel 91, and also talks about it and can be seen on NHL Network. Follow Dave on X at Dave, the letter A, McCarthy, Dave A. McCarthy. Dave, thanks for doing this. It's David and Mark again. How are you?
I'm doing all right. In hindsight, I probably should have double checked to see that the request to come on this morning was genuine when I got it yesterday, because April Fools had never even occurred to me.
Well, let's
so here we go.
Right on. Let's start with the Lightning. I know they lost last night, a couple empty net goals, and the Canadians got them. But David and I, my co-host and I don't know about argued is the right word. But when when he talks about the East, he's like, the East is still running through Tampa. I love what Buffalo's doing. I like this Carolina team, but the pedigree's in Tampa. When you stack up the East, when these playoffs start, do you still think the Tampa Bay Lightning are the best team in the East?
Yeah, I do. I think it really comes down to Tampa Bay and Carolina as the best 2 teams at this point, but Tampa Bay has the championship pedigree. Now, what I'd say about the Lightning is they have been fighting their game for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They've been finding ways to pick up points, which is the mark of a good team, even though they have not been playing to the level they feel they're capable of. But they're picking up points, so that's good. But, I talked to John Cooper when they were in town here probably 3 weeks or so ago, and they had lost a few in a row coming into that game against the Leafs. They beat the Leafs and played a little bit better, and I asked him after the game, I said, was that more closer to the standard that you expected the team? And he was like, honestly, no, because we still gave up a bunch, and Andre Vasilevsky had to make a couple of Andre Vasilevsky type saves. If he doesn't do that, then the game is tight, and who knows how it ends up. So they're trying not to rely on their goalie as often as they have been. The last week or so, they've been chasing a lot of games. They've been getting down early. They've been fighting back again, picking up points. But the idea is not to have to chase the game, because as he said, if you do that consistently in the playoffs, eventually you're not going to be able to come back, and you're going to run out of runway. So I like them. I do. I still do think they're the best team, but they are trying to get their game in order right now, and it's been a little bit of a fight for the last 3 weeks. However, I think with the core that they have, unfortunately, Victor had been not a part of the program right now with being away from the team for personal reasons. And, we wish him the best. He's a great guy. That doesn't help, but I just do think they've got the core that eventually here down the stretch over the last one, they have 6-7 games left. They'll figure it out, and they'll be in good shape in the playoffs. So you've got a guy like Point, you've got a guy like Vasilevsky, quality center iceman, elite level goalie. Hedman will be back, I assume. That's a pretty good starting point for any team.
I'm a believer that Kucherov should win the Hart this year. Okay. Now, listen, McDavid's the best player in the game. McKinnon's having a monster year on the best team. But, the Lightning got off to a horrible start, and Kucherov is playing at a pace that, quite frankly, only the all-time greats have played at over the last 40 to 50 games. I'm just curious, do you think that this time, instead of finishing in the top 3 or the top 5, that Kucherov can win the Hart, or is it already being given to the guy in Colorado?
I think it should be Nikita Kucherov, without question. You look at what he's been able to do this year, it's incredible to watch. Every time you open a box score, he's got 3 or 4 points. And just the way he plays the game. Again, John Cooper told me, I asked him, because I forget, he broke some record I think he got 100 points when he was in Toronto. I think that's what it was. I don't know. He seems like he's set like 6 different records this year. But I think that's what it was. And I asked him about what it's been like watching Kucherov over the last number of years. And he said, honestly, Kuch is like an artist and a professor teaching a course in real time during the game, to the point where the novice hockey person would watch and be like, yeah, I can see what he's doing there. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, maybe I could do that too. You couldn't. But he makes it look so easy, even to the uninitiated hockey person. So you've got a guy playing at that level. It's fun to watch. And then when it comes to the Hart Trophy, if you took Kucherov off this team, they're nowhere near where they're at right now. And so that, I think, is the mark of a leading contender for the Hart Trophy. Take them off the team. Where's the team at? Nowhere near where they are right now. So I think as good a season as Nathan McKinnon has had, he's got more around him in terms of support. If you took Nathan McKinnon off Colorado, would they be where they are? Probably not. Probably not in first, but I still think they'd be in good shape. And it's to take nothing away from Nathan McKinnon at all, but there's just more support there in Colorado. Kucherov hasn't had that a lot this year, and so I think he's the guy that needs to win the Hart this year. He's doing something that's just pretty special to watch.
All right, the Leafs fire Trevelyan, the GM there. They've got to redo what their front office looks like. We all know the problems that they've had and the lack of success for so long now. When they didn't defend Austin Matthews in the moment, I thought that said a lot. I thought it was even more chicken blank and I know they had to do it the other night, but I spent a lot of time around the sport, and I just didn't like the way that team handled that. I wonder if they have to move on from Matthews. I know he has to agree to a trade, but is it time to move him And should they? If you're Toronto, do you have to make that bold of a change?
Well, let me ask, why do you think it would be time to move on from Matthews? It's interesting you bring that up, and I'm interested in your thought process, and then I'll get to mine.
Well, I thought this year, the fact, and I know it's not about the fans and the media, but he kind of took himself away from answering questions the way that he's done in the past. I think he's a great hockey player. I do. I don't think I would trade him because I think he's a building block. But when they didn't go fight in Anaheim when he got his knee blown out in the moment, that I don't know. Is that a bigger shot on the team or a bigger shot on what they think of him? That was it. That was the moment for me. I went, I don't want to. If I'm Austin Matthews, I don't want to be here anymore.
Dave, here's my thought quickly. He has 2 years left on a contract. See, to me, you sit down with Austin Matthews and you say, okay, this is the summer we decide. Are you a Leaf for life, or then we got to move on? To me, you either sign him to a 6, 7, 8-year extension, $100 million, you make him a Leaf for life, and we put this to bed once and for all. Or if you don't want to resign here, then we got to trade you. Okay, I'll make your life miserable because I got to get what I can. My organization doesn't have the resources anymore. The team at the NHL level is a mess. I got to get what I can for you, and I got to begin to retool. That's my thought about Matthews.
Yeah, wow, so much to unpack there, but like all really good points I think you guys make. Here's the thing. First, I don't think he's taken himself away from answering questions. He's been available, so I'll push back on that. Not as much as I'd like, but quite honestly, none of the top guys are available in Toronto as much as I'd like. But he's around. He doesn't hide. So I'll say that much. From what Keith Pelly had to say yesterday, who runs the entire enterprise, I don't think Austin Matthews is going anywhere because Pelly explicitly pointed out that he feels the Leafs have some foundational pieces. You mentioned Matthews specifically, said William Nylander, said John Tavares, that maybe push back on that. I think John's a good player. I don't think he should be considered a foundational piece anymore, just for where he's at in his career, but that's a different story. And he said he likes the goaltending that they've got. So unless Austin Matthews comes to them in the off season and says, you know what, this might not work for me anymore, I don't think the Leafs are going to look to move on him, nor quite frankly, should they after one down year as a group. I think that would be foolish. You'd be really selling low on the guy for one reason. He's had a year and a half where he hasn't been particularly good, or at least at the level that Austin Matthews we feel is capable of playing at. Two, he's hurt, so you don't know how he's going to bounce back after that. You'd be really selling low on Austin Matthews, which is horrendous asset management. So I don't think they should move on him. They intend to retool and contend again next year, like Boston has done this season after missing the playoffs a year ago. So the only way he's moving is if he comes to them. Now he's got 2 years left. Even if he says, yeah, I want to stay, can't sign him until not this July, next July. So there really isn't even anything to be done there. I think that conversation needs to occur next summer as to whether you're staying or not. And then if the answer is no, or if the answer is anything other than 100% yes, then I think you have to look at trading him. But with 2 years left, and the fact that he's coming off an injury and a down year and a bit, that doesn't make a lot of sense to move him. And I don't think he will move unless he comes to them and says, yeah, I'm ready to go, please.
Goaltending. There seems to be a lot of teams, both sides, that have goaltending issues entering the playoffs. Now, we saw Vegas win a cup with Aiden Hill. So I'm curious if your thoughts, like, whether it's Buffalo, Carolina ongoing, Montreal. In the West, there's numerous teams with goalies unproven. Just curious your thoughts. Is that why Tampa with Vasilevsky, Boston with Raymond, and a few others, Dallas, we could go through the ones with really solid goaltending. Do they really have the edge this year in the playoffs? Because there seems to be a lot of teams that are wrestling with their netminder.
You're right. Goaltending is an issue in the NHL right now. And I always like to say that the game should really just be called goalie. Because if you don't have one, you don't have a chance to compete. Look, Vasilevsky, that's why I really like Tampa. He's played well this year. And if he plays like he can just steal games, even if they're not at their best. Carolina, I do think that at some point in the playoffs, Freddie Anderson's going to be the guy that takes over the number one job, even though they've seemed to have split between him and Bussy this year. I think Anderson's got the pedigree. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes over, but I don't love their goaltending as much as I love Tampa's. Ottinger in Dallas has had playoff inconsistencies, I think we'll say. So even though he's been great during the regular season, at times in the playoffs, in recent years at least, he has not been as good. So he's got something to prove in my mind there as well. Outside of that, I think if you're in the Eastern Conference, unless you're playing a team like Tampa Bay, which at this point, who would it be who's sitting in the second wildcard spot? I think it's Columbus right now. If you're Buffalo playing Montreal, you're thinking, well, we can win this series, and neither goaltending circumstance is solid in that matchup. If you're Pittsburgh or the Islanders, I think quite honestly, the Islanders, you got to like your goaltending better with Ilya Sorokin, although they haven't defended very well as a team lately. But Islanders Pittsburgh, that's a pick 'em to me too, if that's how the first round plays out. So I think you're right. Goaltending really has been a concern. My goodness, if Ottawa had been able to get a stop every now and again, they'd be comfortably in a playoff spot right now. But their goaltending has been horrendous this year, either through unavailability or underperformance. You can't win like that. And I think they're a perfect illustration as to a team that is pretty good, defends pretty well, should be able to score enough, just can't get a stop. And as a result, they find themselves on the outside looking in.
Dave McCarthy hosts the Sunday Brunch on SiriusXM's NHL Radio, Channel 91. He can be seen on NHL Network Television, and he writes for NHL.com. Dave McCarthy. Follow him on X at Dave, the letter A, McCarthy, Dave A. McCarthy. Dave, thanks for making time for us. No April Fool's jokes from us. Hopefully we can check in again early in the playoffs.
Sounds good. Always good to be on with you, boys.
Dave McCarthy. Oh, look at that. He called us boys.
It's a hockey interview. I just want everybody to understand I got through that entire interview and I didn't ask a Red Wing question. We ran out of time. That's the reason, but I still didn't. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. FloorMeistersCarpeting.com. CCC
The
1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I understand your point, Puck, but it's actually it's a relevant subject because I do think a Hall of Famer whose numbers in the rafters, who's running the team, should be fired.
Oh, I think it's a
And
monster
we do
story.
and we do have a lot of Red Wing fans listening. There are a lot of Michiganders that listen to our show. So I understand what you're saying, and it wouldn't have been I would have identified myself as a Red Wing fan, but man,
Oh, no. I think it's a monster story. Yzerman in Detroit? Oh, my goodness. I mean, wouldn't it have been equal to if the Wolverines, when they nearly did it, pulled the plug on Jim Harbaugh?
yeah, absolutely. David, you could almost argue it's bigger because Harbaugh didn't win a natty for Michigan.
Well,
You know what I
right.
mean?
And Yzerman gave the Wings 20 years. Right.
and several cups and his numbers in
Right.
the damn rafters. I mean,
Right.
it's
No,
but the thing is, when you talk about it from Detroit, and I think Trent brought it up when I did his show with him. Dumars got let go in Detroit. Alan Trammell got fired in Detroit. I mean, these are Hall of Famers Alan
Right.
Trammell was he was as beloved as any player of my lifetime for that team.
but
And
Yzerman,
probably the most beloved player from that team.
but you're right. But Yzerman is a level above even Joe Dumars, even Alan Trammell.
Yeah, and they're both Hall of Famers.
Right.
And you're right. He is a level above them. I mean, he's a first ballot all-time great player. Was the captain at like 19. By the way, I know you don't watch a lot or listen to a lot of podcasts. I've seen clips, and Jake's told me to listen. I don't know which Howe. I think it was Mark Howe. I don't think it was Marty. Did Chicklets, and he tells one Gordy story after another.
Oh my God.
And those are all on Netflix now. So like you literally can watch Chicklets on Netflix.
I'll tell you what, though, those podcasts are long.
I know.
So like,
But
it
it's a
works for
whole-
you now, but yeah.
It's an hour and 20 minutes of Gordy Howe stories. Like
Right.
there's long and then there's a good watch, if you
Right.
know what I mean.
Really? Those podcasts are on Netflix?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. A Barstool did a deal with Netflix. I don't know for all of them, but I know Chicklets is.
Wow.
Then I know Pardon My Take is on there too, I believe. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that it is. That's where I saw the DeVito story was on Pardon My Take. Do you know the story that I speak of?
No.
Basically, you've got to hear him tell it, but they told him that he came in to do a read and he was all prepared to do the show or whatever. And they said, we've got a new script for you. The script was completely made up. and he just gets abused, and he thinks it's the real script. And think about it. The writer, everybody's in on that to get DeVito.
Have you heard the pranks that Clooney pulls?
Yes.
Oh, golly. He apparently put on the back of Brad Pitt's car a bumper sticker that said F cops. Okay. And Brad didn't know. Apparently, he sends letters out to other actors and actresses from Brad Pitt. Congratulating
He stole his letterhead,
him.
right?
Right. He stole his letterhead. Yeah. Sent one to Meryl Streep.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the final hour of Miller and Moulton in Jacksonville and Tampa St. Pete. Thanks so much for listening. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's an April Fool's Day edition. And so that's the focus of our poll question. Were you someone who participated, and are you now participating in April Fool's Day pranks?
And I've done a couple, basically just to get my wife, but I let my daughter do it because she wouldn't believe me if I was doing it. And we're probably at the point now where she won't believe my daughter on April 1st. The only shot that my daughter would have is that if my wife woke up in a daze, if you will, just very tired and was able to get away with it in the moment. But this is not an April Fool's joke. And I've been laughing. Our old producer, who you and I and John text regularly, his brother, and you know him and I know him, good guy. His brother has been making posts on social media that have made me laugh recently of absurd warning labels. And his thought is we should just take them off because if you're too dumb to realize some of these things, then we need to thin the herd, basically. and they're funny. On that note, David, during the break, I grabbed my phone and I opened my email. And I'm obviously not home. I've been in Tampa now for a few months. But apparently, and my wife had told me this, because whether people were sneaking into my neighborhood or riding motorcycles around the gate or bicycles around the gate, whatever the hell's going on, they have put new gates up in my gated community where I live.
Okay.
And on the note of what John's brother talked about, David, I just got an email as to how to enter a neighborhood with a gate.
Excuse me?
The gate arms are equipped with a 3-color lighting system. Solid red light. Wait for it, David. Gate is closed. Do not proceed.
You mean red means stop?
Right. Flashing red light. Gate is opening. Please wait until fully open. And finally, you're not going to believe this one, David. Solid green. You may proceed.
Wait, green means go?
Now, I don't blame the HOA for sending out this email. I don't. The management company that runs the neighborhood. I blame the people that live in the neighborhood. Because obviously somebody has either already hit a gate or has come damn close to hitting a gate that the guard has told management, hey, these people can't figure this out. We need to tell them. This goes back to one of our favorite shows, what we think is one of the more underrated shows in sitcom history, and that's Taxi. When Jim was taking the driving test,
right,
and he says, what does a yellow light mean? And Jeff Conway's character says, slow down. And Christopher Lloyd, who played Jim, keeps going, what does a yellow light mean? Slow down. And he keeps going slower and slower. That's all I can think of with this. But literally, David, I just want to remind you that if you ever come over, because you can, you're still on the pass list. If you make your way to Fort Myers
right,
and want to come to the house, David, solid green, you can proceed.
Wow. You guys don't even throw yellow into the mix. Okay. But I think I can handle it. Although I'm living in my first ever quote unquote gated community. Okay. The condo where we live is in amongst a couple of different communities. And so I have to go through a gate both ways. And it is amazing to me, though, Mark, how many people will not stop for a gate. Okay. Nope. Gotta go. And it's like, there's a gate down in front of you. You're going to have to wait 2-3 seconds. 2-3 seconds. That's all. 2-3 seconds. No, they were like Tiger. Okay. I mean, I got a lot of people in this community, Mark, okay, that are distracted on their phone and changing channels on the radio because they cannot be bothered. All right. Twice a year, we're replacing, arms. That's what I call them, the gate arms there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're right.
Twice
We
a
know what
year
you're
we're
talking
doing it.
about.
It's unreal. But, well, I'm glad you guys have the color coded, though. That should help because otherwise it's not obvious.
Right.
It's either
red
up or
stop,
it's down, right?
green go.
Yeah.
They didn't even go yellow. They go flashing red.
Right. I would think it's pretty simple. If it's down, you must stop. And if it's up, you can go. So
seems pretty simple to me. David, we
Right.
got a lot of text during the show, back-to-back guests with Kevin Brockway earlier in the show, talking some Gators. We talked with Seth, and then we talked some hockey. Gator fan a while back says, I'm tired of jet sweeps and screens. They don't bleeping work. Okay. But some hockey people just happy about the hockey talk, and a Montreal fan reminding us that the Habs have swept both Tampa Bay and Carolina in the regular season for what it's worth.
that's not true. Tampa, that's the first win over Montreal had over Tampa this year. Tampa had won the 2 previous meetings.
Well, that's a Montreal fan. That's a typical French Canadian fan right there. Why would the truth get in the way? And then a Leafs fan that's upset with me that says I'm still carrying my hatred for the Leafs too far. No, I'm not. That question, I think, is a legitimate question. Your captain, your best player, gets his knee blown out, and not one damn player on the team did a damn thing about it. Then the next game they go fight the guy who's in a boot, who shouldn't have been playing, who literally should not have been playing. The guy who took out Matthews' knee was hurt. He played because of the honor he has for the game, and he wasn't going to let his teammates fight for him.
Right.
That's a captain.
Yes.
Whether you like him or not, whether you think the hit was dirty or not, that's someone who's a leader.
Yep.
And Matthews is wearing the C. They don't follow him. He got his knee blown out, and they didn't do anything.
I'm actually, the more I think about the incident, the more I am surprised that somebody didn't, and I know the suspension that's involved, but I'm surprised somebody didn't come off the bench. And I know that that's a minimum 10 games, but he took out your captain. He took out your captain.
I'm a believer that it's more chicken blank that the Leafs had to wait to the next game to go do something about it. That makes me sick. If I'm a Leafs fan, I'm sick to my stomach. And trust me, I'm already sick to my stomach about the way my team's playing.
I know NHL rules say that you can't do the long-term extension until you're 12 months out, but you can put a contract in a drawer. I'm just saying I would have the conversation with Austin Matthews this summer. Okay, are you a Leaf for life or not? And if he hesitates at all, I'm like, then pick where you want to go. I'll do the best I can. Give me a top 5, okay, of where you most want to go.
And I love that he backed you on the Kucherov for MVP because he's in Toronto. He's a Canadian.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You and I have had this conversation. I think it hurts Kucherov that there are a lot of Canadian voters, and I don't know if they'll vote for a Russian player when everything's, if it's one-sided, it's easy. But this is really close. This is really close. McKinnon's having an unbelievable year. He's on the best team. He's scored more goals.
Right.
Kucherov's carrying his team. He's a couple of points ahead of McKinnon on points, and he's several goals behind.
Right. He's like 8 goals behind, but he's like 13 assists ahead. Okay. So it's really close overall point total. Does it matter where the Lightning finish? Like, Mark, do they have to finish in first place for Kucherov to win the MVP? If they're a second place team, can he really win the Hart when McKinnon is wearing the C on the best team in the league?
Right. They're 1 point apart. Kucherov has 121 points. McKinnon has 120. I mean, that's how close this is.
It did help. McKinnon had that game against Calgary 2 nights ago where I think he had 5 points.
But McKinnon's got 49 goals. He's going to have a 50-goal season. That's a bench. I mean, come on. That's, 50 home runs, 50 goals. These are benchmark years, David.
Yeah. He's leading the league in goals, him and Caulfield.
And I wonder, he's actually 2 ahead of him now, but there's part of me that still wonders, missing that. Oh, I know it had nothing to do with the NHL season. Are Canadian voters going to hold it against McKinnon that he missed the open net against the USA in the gold medal game?
And then was on the ice and probably most at fault for the game-winning goal.
Trust me, I think your points are incredibly valid of how Kucherov, because a lot of the key players for Tampa have missed chunks of the season. By the way, who's an underrated Tampa Bay player to me that doesn't get enough credit? He's little, but Jake Getzel's not afraid to go to the tough areas, and the puck finds him. He's a goal scorer, man. I mean, Jake Getzel gets his nose in areas that a lot of guys his size are afraid to do.
I thought he was at least 50% a product of Sidney Crosby. And I wondered when the Lightning signed him, I went, okay, you chose him over Stammer at this stage of his career, 2-way player. Oh, okay. I'm not crazy about it, but are you sure you're going to get the goal scoring that you got from Stamkos without Crosby? Now, granted, gets to play with Kucherov and Point. I mean, but you're right, Mark. He's been a better goal scorer his 2 years in Tampa than, quite frankly, I thought he was.
Right. He went to Carolina at the deadline and helped them out, but Carolina, what they like to do in the playoffs is disappoint. So I'm with you. That was a big signing. But, I mean, when you watch him play, whether it's a sixth sense, whether he's just got good hockey smarts, David, he puts himself in the right spot to score goals. You don't score all those goals in the playoffs that he has without, one, not being afraid to get to those areas and being smart enough to be in those areas.
I'll just say it again, though. Do the Lightning have to finish in first place for Kucherov and John Cooper to win the hardware? I think they do. They shouldn't have to, but I think they do.
Cooper does. Kucherov, boy, that's going to be close. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe. and sound. American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yes, Kucherov has missed more games, but Empire, I would actually say this. Hockey's the one sport that they'll reward a guy for playing in nearly every. If points are equal, they're not going to go, well, Kucherov averages more points per game. They'll say McKinnon showed, only missed one game. It's the ability, your availability is really a big deal. It's a badge of honor to play every game in hockey. It really is. They're not going to fault him for being hurt, if you know what I mean, but they do reward you for playing. And McKinnon looks like he's going to play in all but one game. They reward you for that in that sport.
I would hold him out of the finale if I was Colorado. He probably won't want to, but he can't get hurt in game 82. Especially when they're only a few points away from clinching the division title and the 1 seed. Man, does the rest of the West suck. Golly.
As we said, EB, it's a different hall. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame, first things. It's the Pro Basketball Hall. It's just the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not even the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. And that makes a huge difference on who gets in. Huge. Like, I'm talking Caroline, huge. Talk about somebody that didn't need to get all the ink. Remember when Caroline quit, working with Billy and then came back and she was just all inked up?
Yeah.
I just said it's huge. Caroline, huge. You're off in your own world there.
I was.
And I wasn't talking to you. You were looking the other way.
I was.
When you looked up and then wondered what I was talking about, I got to explain.
Sorry.
That's David. Again, it's not your fault. I mean, it just feels like I got my mother in the room.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Hump Day edition, April Fool's Day edition, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Poll question, since it is April Fool's Day, are you an April Fool's Day prankster? Yay or nay? Vote accordingly. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts, a pick or two. A ton, by the way, of afternoon baseball. There are 14 games in the majors today, 12 of them in the afternoon. Are any of them nationally televised on a network other than streaming? Of course not.
Not even MLB Network? And I don't get it, so I would think there would be a game on MLB Network, but that's just me.
When I looked earlier, I didn't see it. I'll amend it later on if true.
Fair enough. Apparently, did they announce it or have they not announced it? Because I see everywhere that Vegas is getting, we talked about it, that it's a done deal, but I've not seen a formal announcement. But Vegas expected, in everything I'm reading is it's done, that they're getting the 2029 Super Bowl.
Right, but I'm with you. It's kind of like Shams and a few other outlets yesterday reporting who's getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame, yet I don't believe Springfield, Massachusetts sent out a release. And Mark, I think that's the truth going on in Arizona. Numerous NFL people reporting it as fact. I don't remember seeing the NFL releasing it as fact.
I mean, there are quotes from the people in the Peter O'Reilly from the NFL EVP club business events thing. So it's done.
Right.
Again,
yeah, it's LA this year. LA this year, Atlanta next year, Vegas in the 2028 season, early 2029.
So they were there in 24, right? 23 season, 24 Super Bowl, if I've got that right.
Right. Wasn't that the Chiefs-Niners overtime game?
Yeah, I believe so. You're better at remembering which game was which, but I'm just saying it's 5 years apart. Are we getting a Super Bowl in Vegas once every 5 years now? I mean, look at I think it's a great city for the Super Bowl. I'm not against the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. I'm not. They've got the hotels. The gambling's already there. The league's in bed with gambling now. So the players, I'm sure, love it. The media loves it. Everybody seems to be for Vegas Super Bowls. I don't think Santa Clara should be getting Super Bowls, period. I think that's a terrible place to host the Super Bowl. Terrible.
Yes. They got both 50 and 60, and quite frankly, shouldn't get another one. I would give it to Indianapolis before I would give it to Santa Clara, despite the weather, because in Indianapolis, everything is right there. Okay, Santa Clara is a disaster. Things are an hour apart. It's awful.
Right. I'd give it to Phoenix before I'd give it to Santa Clara. You and I know they keep giving them to New Orleans. I don't think we would give them to New Orleans, but I'd do it in New Orleans before I do it in Santa Clara.
Well, you mentioned it'll be 5 years apart. 23 season, 28 season that Vegas gets a Super Bowl. Mark, The 26 season is going to cap off at SoFi. Didn't the 21 season cap off there? Wasn't that the Rams beating the Bengals? I think it was the 2021 season because Brady and the Bucks won it during the 20 season COVID, and the Rams beat Brady and the Bucks on their way to the Super Bowl in 21. So, Mark, this is the NFL with two tells, and both West Coast. We're putting LA, SoFi, and we're putting Vegas. They're in the tight rotation. We'll deal with everybody else, building new stadiums, whether they get one or not. You know, who are we going to eventually put in the 5-6 city rotation? But Mark, this is now LA in 21-26, Vegas 23-28.
And now, as you mentioned, Nashville's getting a new stadium. They're getting a Super Bowl. They are.
Right, they are.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if Cleveland's going to get one. I don't know if they'll ever buck the trend. If you build a new dome, we give you a Super Bowl. I mean, the fact that they gave New York one, they'll never do that again.
No, but that was outdoors. And right, they'll never go Northern City outdoors. Like, I don't even know if Washington will get one. You know, Philly tried and the NFL said, we'll give you a draft.
So we're going to do Vegas once every 5 years. We're going to do LA once every 5 years. And then everybody else is fighting for it. I mean, it appears as if they don't want to come back to Miami anytime soon. I thought they made the proper refurbishments to the stadium to get one. You know, Tampa, I love you. I do. Would love to have been in Tampa for 2 months for a lot of different reasons. I've enjoyed the hell out of the little bit of time that I get to spend out of the Hope Lodge. I think Tampa is a fabulous city. It's grown up a lot since its last Super Bowl, which was the COVID year. Tampa's got the infrastructure now to host another Super Bowl. I don't think they ever get one unless they get a new stadium.
And I think they'll get one. I think they'll get a make good because 2020 Tampa didn't get to enjoy the economic benefit that a normal Super Bowl gets. So, Mark, they've committed to 2. The question is, how many cities are they going to commit to? It's kind of like the Open Championship, rotation. They've got like 5-6 courses. They make sure St. Andrews, every 5 years, they want to get back to St. Andrews.
David, has it been 2011 since the last Dallas Super Bowl?
Well, yeah, it was the 2010 season, which has shocked me the most. That's the one that has shocked me the most. A, it's domed. B, it's Jera, the most influential owner in the game. And C, it's 90,000 seats and then standing room. I mean, it's a cash cow. And they've built a lot of hotels in Dallas. Area's thriving. Affordable, too. It's actually a nice place to move to.
Houston had one in 2017. They've had 3 total, but 2017's the last.
Miami's last one was the 2019 season. Their Super Bowl was like 4 to 6 weeks before COVID hit in early 2020. So you think about it, Miami's going to go a decade. I mean, if we're doing 26 LA, 27 Atlanta, 28 Vegas, the earliest Miami's going to go is 10 years.
And New Orleans just had one, 2025. So,
right.
They've had their fix.
Uh-huh. But, places that we thought would make the rotation, Atlanta, okay, next year, that's good. And then when was the last one before that? Was it the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl?
2019 Super Bowl, 2018 season.
Right. So they're going to go 9 years in between Super Bowls. Miami's going to go a minimum of 10. Dallas, Mark's going to go 20.
Right.
I'm stunned. Absolutely, I am. I'm stunned at that. But
Phoenix had one recently, the 2023 Super Bowl. So,
right. Yep.
But they are supposed to announce the 2030 Super Bowl at these league meetings. I don't know if they will.
The rumors, Nashville. They'll play the 20, the Titans will move in 27. They'll play the 27 and 28 seasons, and then the 2029 season. Okay, well, the 2 years to break in that stadium, and then they'll get a Super Bowl.
So the West Coast Super Bowls are dominating right now. I mean, Phoenix,
out of
Santa
8.
Clara, a couple in LA, and now Vegas.
6
So
out
much
of
for
8.
morning radio shows on Radio Row, David.
Got that right.
Good, the bad, and the ugly. Next, Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Now, if he waits 2 years, Larry, sure. I think anything's a possibility for Austin Matthews, although I would bet my bottom dollar that if he were to leave Toronto, if I were Austin Matthews and leave as a free agent, I would go play for the New York Rangers. I would. If you're going to play for original 6 team, you might as well play for the team in New York, not in Chicago. But to me, my kid and I talk about it all the time because he's like, what wings would you keep? I'd keep 2. There's 2 guys off the Red Wing team that I'd keep. One's Mo Sider, the young defenseman, who I think's really, really good. And the other one's Raymond, the forward. He's young and also really good. Anybody, I would offer Tampa Larkin, Edvinson, who's a good young defenseman, one of the 2 goalies that they have on the farm, and a number 1 draft pick. And if they wanted something else, I'd probably throw it in. And Larkin's Detroit's best player. So if you're Chicago, you're going to give up Bedard for Austin Matthews because that's what Toronto would want.
Boy, I like your thinking because I wouldn't want to trade Larkin, but you're right. If you're going to pry Austin Matthews away in a trade, you're going to have to give Toronto something because that press conference is going to be very difficult for them. So they got to be able to say, hey, man, we got a guy who's good enough to make an Olympic team. Okay. We got a franchise goalie and we got something else.
We got a young defenseman who's good, big, and we've got a first-round pick. That's that. And if I'm Toronto, that's the minimum I'm taking.
I'd take it, by the way, with a year left, or in theory 2.
But
I'd take
so,
it. Boy,
And if you're Detroit, you got to talk to his agent and make sure he's going to stay.
well, yeah. I mean, I would make that part of the deal. Toronto might balk at it, but 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes. I can tell right away.
So but yeah, you're right. Denver is getting the dome, and that's why I wonder about Cleveland, Canada relief. Like, if I'm the NFL, I'm not giving Cleveland a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Yeah, you got your dome. You don't get a Super Bowl. You're Cleveland. Sorry. I'm not putting my Super Bowl in that city ever.
It's kind of like an unwritten.
I understand that, but then you got to give Denver one too.
Yeah.
Denver doesn't have the hotels to have a Super Bowl. You've said that.
I don't think they do downtown. I don't. But it's going to take them 5 years to build the stadium. I'd say to them, well, you better start working on the hotels then.
31, they're supposed to open Denver. So do they get one by 35? We'll see. Yeah, but you're talking, fans stay in Airbnbs, Jay. I got you. You're talking about the corporate people that are brought. You got to remember that 60 to 70% of the tickets are going to the corporate world for the Super Bowl. They're people that are being flown in to go to the game, to go to events. It's Visa, it's all the big NFL sponsors and things like that. It's not, they don't care about fans. Yeah, they do for Fan Fest, because apparently Vegas had 40 to 50,000 a day going to the Fan Fest events. Vegas is built for the Super Bowl. It's the strip that's full of huge hotels and a convention center all downtown. And every hotel is a convention center. It's perfect. I think Nashville will be good. Not great, but good.
Here's the other thing why I like your deal for the Wings quickly and the Leafs. I don't know if the Leafs can sell a rebuild. Like all these first-round picks take 5 years in hockey unless you're, getting
Connor Bedard or
right.
And Snyder's been great, but that's it. There's more that aren't that are.
Right.
And we're talking about, damn near a lot of first overall guys, top 5 guys.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till we're done. Our Hump Day show is over. Missed any part of the show? Go to millerandmoulton.com. Millerandmoulton.com. Whole question. It's April Fool's Day. Are you a prankster? Do you or have you taken part in April Fool's Day pranks? Yay or nay? Vote accordingly. That's it.
All right, you got nothing for me here? You ready for me to rock?
I'm always ready for you to rock.
Speaking of rocking, caught a video going through my scrolling of the US Festival from '82 and Triumph doing Fight the Good Fight.
Just
such a good band.
I love Triumph. Oh my goodness.
And they're going on tour. Like Rush and Triumph are both doing it. I don't know if I'd want, there's literally Rush and Triumph are the first 2 bands I saw in concert. I was 15 years old. I saw them about a month apart. I don't know if I'd want, 40 years later, I don't know if I'd really want to go again and see them. But I will say Rush did play. The Canadian Grammys are called the Juno Awards, and no one knew it because Rush is going on tour, the first tour without Neil Peart since he died. And they've got they've got a great drummer. I'm trying to think who he played with. Someone will give it to me. But they opened the Juno Awards, and no one knew they were doing it. Somehow they were able to keep it secret. They played a song from their first album that they hadn't played in concert since like 1980.
Wow.
And it rocked. It's a song I'm not even that familiar with, but it was it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
I'm with you, by the way. Saw the same tour, and I was lucky I saw it at the Garden.
Yes, and I said Neil Peart. That's our drummer who passed away. For those that keep popping his name in, I swear to you, I feel like I'm talking to someone in my house right now. I say things, and then people tell me exactly what I just got done saying.
Ladies and gentlemen in the YouTube and Twitch chat rooms, here's what's working against you. Okay, Mark's mother doesn't pay attention to him a lot. She's one of his 2 caretakers. So by the end of her stay, she's driving him crazy. And his co-host, okay, doesn't pay attention to him during the commercial breaks either. Okay, so he's got a lot of people that he spends too much time with who don't pay attention to him. So that's what you're up against. If you're going to contribute, just pay attention to him. You don't have to agree with him. You don't even have to like him. Okay, just whatever you do, just please, I beg you, pay attention, because I'm letting you down because I don't pay attention to him during the breaks at all.
Speaking of segments that David Moulton doesn't pay attention to, time now for...
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1905, the SOS, Morse distress signal, is first adopted, and it was adopted by the German government. Today in 45, ground forces invade Okinawa, the largest assault of the Pacific Theater in World War II. It was today in 1963 that either the biggest or second biggest soap opera got its start. General Hospital premiered today on ABC. I mean, it's either Days of Our Lives or General Hospital, right, David?
Well, and in honor of my mother, who was an NBC soap opera fan, what also debuted on this day was The Doctors.
Yeah,
and
I've got that, but who the hell's even heard of that?
Well, The Doctors, I believe, was after Days of Our Lives on the NBC lineup, I believe.
Okay, but the 2 biggest soap operas in television daytime soap history have got to be General Hospital and Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I mean, I don't think a bronze medalist even contends.
Maybe As the World Turns, I don't know. Sam and Dave released Hold On, I'm Coming today in 1966. I really forgot to bring this up with Seth just because I wanted him to do the imitation. It was today in 69 that the Seattle Pilots traded this little-known minor leaguer for 2 prospects. His name was Lou Piniella. He would go on to win the AL Rookie of the Year. Nixon banned cigarette ads on television and radio today in 1970. If we could have smokes advertised, would you allow it on our show, David?
Oh, yeah. No. But you and I have been pretty open about, smoking, drinking, gambling. Okay. I've never smoked, and I mean never. Not once in my life have I put tobacco in my mouth or touched my lips. Okay. But if you are going to do it, knock yourself out. Okay. If you want to gamble, great. You don't want to gamble, great. Don't. Same with drinking. I mean,
Miller
I'm
and
sorry.
Moulton, brought to you by Street Hookers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm sorry. At some point, you got to be an adult. We can only do so much for you, is my thought.
Today in 72, Major League Baseball players staged their first ever collective strike. Play would resume a couple of weeks later. Owners and players agree to a $500,000 increase in pension fund payments.
Can I just stop you for a second? If you were president now, 55 plus years later, okay, would you reverse the ban?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm fine with no cigarette ads.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Because, we can make the case. There's a lot of stuff out there. Drinking, the pharmaceuticals. We can make quite a case.
Well, I don't think pharmaceuticals, we're the only country in the world that allows pharmaceutical ads the way that we allow them in this country. That's ridiculous.
Right. So
that's ridiculous. That's a whole nother story.
Okay. All right.
But you could certainly make a case on the alcohol, David. There's no doubt. Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded this company today in 1976. You may have heard of it. It's called Apple. The better of the two Newhart shows finished today in 1978 on CBS.
Second one was good too.
It was not as good as the first one.
No, the first one was amazing.
Also today in 78, Mike Bossy becomes the first NHL rookie to score 50 goals in a season. He'd actually score 50 and 51 in a 3-2 win over Washington. 3 years later, this guy named Gretzky had his 103rd assist of the season to break Bobby Orr's record for most assists in a single season. It was today in 84 that Marvin Gaye was shot and killed by his father. It's a day short of his birthday, too. Happy birthday, son. You're dead. 85. One of the biggest upsets in college basketball history. Villanova takes down Georgetown 66-44. They shot 79% from the field.
For the game. They shot 90% in the second half. They missed one shot from the field in the second half. Okay, no shot clock, so the possessions could take a while. All right, but yeah, they missed one shot in the second half.
The shortest commissioner term in baseball history began today in 89. A. Bartlett Giamatti replaces Uberoth. He would die of a heart attack 5 months later. In what everybody, I would assume, thought was an April Fool's joke. Today in 1990, Comedy Central launches on cable. It's a pretty good day to launch if you're Comedy Central.
Agreed.
Duke gets their first title. They were still lovable today in 91. They would beat Kansas by 7. Leitner would get the most outstanding player. 92, the NHL begins their first strike in their 75-year history. It was a 10-day strike. They got a large playoff bonus increase and more control over licensing and likeness, and it changes to the free agency system. 93, sad day in Winston Cup racing. Alan Kowicki died in a plane crash en route to Bristol for the Food City 500.
I was on the air in Binghamton, New York, and I literally had to start my sportscast by saying, this is not a joke. I know it's April Fool's Day. This is not a joke. And Mark, there was a grown man. He was in his mid-30s. His name was Jim. He was one of our best cameramen. He was a Polish Prince Alan Kowicki fan, had all his stuff. He was sobbing on my shoulder. He came running to me going, please tell me this isn't true. And I had to say, Jim, I'm very sorry. He sobbed on my shoulder.
Today in 02, Maryland gets their first title, beating Indiana by 8. And you talk about the Mets record on opening day, and while it's terrific, it's the Yankees that today in 2008 set a record by winning their 11th straight home opener. Bo Schembechler, Gordon Jump. I got to tell you who that is, but that's for David and I. That's Arthur Carlson, everybody.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Couple of guys that everybody had their baseball card, by the way. Phil Niekro and Rusty Staub, along with Sean Taylor, would have all celebrated birthdays today. Scott Stevens is 62. Jumbo Elliott and Mark Jackson are 61. Darren McCarty is 54. Wrestler Randy Orton, 46. The Lopez twins, Brooke and Robin, are 38. And Alex Palou, the IndyCar driver, that's just for David. He's 29. What did I miss, David? Or what are you going to repeat that I said earlier?
Nope, you got it all. Well done.
I knew he was going to listen today. I forced him to. I forced him to by that introduction. He had no choice.
Yep.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Well, what turned out as a bad, borderline rotten, ended up being good. Mike Watkinson across the pond needed some roof tiles. And the roofers arrived and apparently aggressively quoted him 250 pounds for the work. He said he felt pressured into accepting. And before he knew it, the bill rose to 8 times that amount. He said the workers who pocketed the cash left his home and left him with a huge hole in the roof. That's when Denny Mela and another tradesman found out about it. They're both roofers in the area and came over and did all the work for free. For the bad, we go to Massachusetts, where some pigs are wandering loose. I had a couple of jokes there, but I'm going to leave them alone. 2 pigs were found by the Blackstone Regional Animal Shelter, not by my friend Q, on Pond Street, and they were rounded up. Officials left a note at a home they are suspected to be owned by, but no one was at the home, so the pigs were taken to the shelter. Finally, the ugly. We go to Charlotte County, where Monday evening, deputies had to respond to a business where a man was inside. A woman told deputies that she arrived for work and noticed strings tied around the door handles and saw a bicycle. Then she saw a man inside the business who was asleep on the couch. They say they found no signs of forced entry and found John Mackey asleep on the couch. When they finally were able to wake him, he came out after several verbal commands from deputies. He told deputies that a friend let him enter the business using a key, and then complained while he was in the police car that he had foot pain. So he got an ambulance ride to the hospital, where he told him he gained access to an unlocked door. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, April Fool's Day 2026. Brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department. Hiring new officers, offering great pay, a signing bonus, plus other jobs are available. For information on becoming an officer at Cape Coral or any of the other jobs, capecops.com. capecops.com.
14 baseball games, 12 of them in the afternoon. They're all on MLB.TV. Mets Cardinals is also on ESPN Unlimited. But no MLB Network game, at least not one that is listed from the list I have in front of me. Rays and Brewers at 140. Marlins, White Sox at 110. The Braves, by the way, hosting the A's at 12:15. That's the earliest game of the day, but 14 games, 12 of them this afternoon. The Dodgers, one of the 2 games tonight. Just 3 hockey games, Mark. And
that makes sense. There was a bunch last night.
Yeah. So St. Louis at the Kings, that has playoff ramifications for both. The Kings a point out of the final playoff spot. Anaheim at San Jose. Playoff ramifications for both. San Jose's got 2 games in hand on everybody else they're fighting to catch, and one of them's tonight. Probably need a win if Celebrini and company are going to make the playoffs. Anaheim, San Jose at 9 o'clock on TNT. 9 games in the NBA.
On TV. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. 9 NBA games, the ESPN doubleheader, Celtics and Heat, Spurs and Warriors, 7:30, 10 o'clock on ESPN. Magic are hosting Atlanta.
I was going to say, is that the best game of the night? I know the other 2 games are on TV, but isn't Atlanta at Orlando the best game of the night?
And Orlando needs to win it if they want to avoid the play-in. They lose, it'll be tough for them to avoid the play-in. Have a great rest of your April Fool's Day, Miller and Moulton. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
EPA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree.
His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and
The
tourism.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. American Paint Supplies. For nearly 30 years is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Thanks, Rick.